Lydia Walter. Why East Coast Bowhunting Podcast?
Because neither one of us wear pink camo.
East Coast Bowhunting Podcast. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Look, man, I'm from Wisconsin. I listen to the East Coast Bowhunters because you don't get anything more real than these guys.
Because East Coast Bowhunting sets the standards for keeping its listeners informed on everything that matters in the hunting industry.
It's nice having somebody, local and represent the East Coast boys.
The East Coast is going to saddle up.
Number one source for slaying whitetails on the East Coast.
Well, you might see Jesus if you actually do something, it'll get you into heaven.
Why East Coast? Why not? I'm East Coast, baby. That's how we roll. Chew on that.
Come on the show, a stranger, and you feel like one of the boys when you leave.
Because I get my hunting camp anytime I want.
There's some absolute monsters roaming the East Coast, and I think it needs a little attention, so why not bring it to the East Coast Bowhunters Podcast?
Man, because East Coast is a tight-knit crew, and y'all like me. Raw, real, no bullshit.
Because you guys are hometown boys. I love you guys.
This is Kurt Geyer with Working Class Bowhunter, and East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is the only hunting podcast I'll tune into.
Oh, hello. You slaving at work right now, wishing you can have a beer? No worries. I got you, man. I'll have one for you. Just continue earning your working class dollar as I perk up your day and have my boys drop some Big Buck Knowledge 101. I'm your boy D-Rock, here with Trev, and we are Slayer Studio in Coventry, Connecticut, hiding in the mountains of God's heaven. This is the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast, bringing you some intel on how to chase your big buck with the help of Austin Chandler and Ross Bigger. Kurt Geyer from WCB is the man, allowing Raustin to use the Buckatorium out in Illinois to phone in for quality purposes. This show is made possible by Shabeen Brewing, the Hunter's Beer. 100 Demons, East Coast hardcore music known worldwide. Trev's Euros, for all your Euromount needs. Encore Targets, self-healing targets to self-heal your pockets. Meyer Trail Cams, who's on your hit list? Outright Hunting, the Morph Pro, is the last bow hunter you'll ever buy. Death Wish Coffee, fueled by death. Promo code East Coast 10. Ethics Archery, it's like steroids for your arrows. Also promo code East Coast 10. Tree Thrasher, imitate the wild. Promo code East Coast 15. Nor'easter Game Calls, get them in close. Get your ECB Blood Series now. Wild Edge Inc. for the supreme leader in mobile hunting. This show is driven by Scranton Motors and powered by Scranton Power Sports. This show is presented by Working Class Bowhunter, not just a podcast, but the brand in the hunting industry. East Coast Bowhunting Podcast is here as always for new and old hunters by sharing our experiences in the woods through playing and slaying. What's up?
What's up, D-Rock?
What's good, Trev? How you feeling, man?
Oh, feeling good, man.
Jesus. I don't know if we're going to make this whole episode. We got a long episode ahead of us, I feel. Every time we get hooked up with the Iowa boys, Illinois boys, and in this case, Indiana boys, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy. A lot of knowledge is going to drop, and this is going to be really good inside information for everyone out there looking to score their first big buck. What do you think?
I agree. These guys are big buck killers.
Straight up. And then we have Kurt in the mix, too. Thanks again to him. Supplying his recording studio, so this way we get a good quality episode.
Absolutely.
Hopefully down the road we can reciprocate in the same. Whatever East Coast Slayer is up in our neighborhood. Maybe even Kip Campbell, he'll be on our show soon. Right now he's down south slaying hogs, and maybe we could show some love and get his voice out to the Midwest. So let's recap a little. What'd you think of quote-unquote Austin Chandler and Ross Bigger when you first met him?
They're cool dudes. I didn't really... I saw Austin at the first time I met him. Oh, he went out of his way to say hi at the... coming out from the bar. We were all at the Beer Can Alley. Good dude, man. These guys are really good dudes. I didn't really talk to him all that much, to be honest.
Oh, you didn't get to catch up with him at the Airbnb?
Not really, no.
A little intimidated?
No, yeah, well.
You were clenching a bit?
Yeah, no, we were just all.
Cheeks clenching? Turtle head poking out?
No.
No? Nothing like that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, they're really cool dudes, down to earth, and just to be surrounded by all the big buck killers is definitely something in itself where I just learned real at a young age, but especially being surrounded by so much knowledge, I just learned to just shut the fuck up. This way we know that you know that the more you shut up, the more you're going to learn. And what's that saying that your dad always told you, Trev?
You're given two ears, one mouth, so you can listen twice as much as you talk.
Hell yeah. That's actually Kurt calling us now, man. Let me shoot him a text real quick. So why don't you catch up with our listeners about the survival episode we just finished recording?
That was a crazy episode. It definitely put things into big perspective as far as like being a survivalist and being outside. Like all these things that could potentially happen to us, you know, and getting stuck in the wilderness and having to survive or whatever the case may be. Could get lost in the woods and have to survive, especially being a hunter. So knowing the things and the tips that he had told us about, you know, shelter, food, water, and fire, how important it is when you're actually in the wilderness.
That's badass. And he's a badass dude straight out of Connecticut.
He is.
Living on the West Coast. Tom McElroy. Look him up. If you don't know about him, you need to know. Oh, I got the text back. We're going to keep this live and raw. So I'm going to get...
You're just going to put them on.
Yeah, let's jump right into it, man.
Yeah,
let's jump right into it. This is awesome. I like this.
Did you tell him that we're going to be raw?
Yep.
What up?
What's good, homie? We're recording. Yeah, no doubt. We're recording right now, just so you know.
All right, thanks for the heads up. Jimmy Hoffa is buried at D-Rock's house. Is that what I'm
hearing? What's good, Steve? How you, Doug?
I'm living life, man. Good to hear from you.
Likewise, man. I miss one night we were going at it back and forth with the memes and the gifs.
Dude, don't even pull that up. What was that? 2 nights ago?
Something like that. It was even late night, like I think my last one I sent you was maybe 1:30, 2 in the morning, something like that.
Yeah, that was like 2 in the morning Central Time, so it was like 4 a.m.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't sleep.
Who's all there?
Oh, it's just me and Trev today, man.
Oh, what's up, Trev?
What's up, guys?
What's going on over there? Go ahead.
Trev, the substitute porn star.
Yeah. I'm not that good looking, bro.
Hey, who do you want on this episode?
What's that?
Who do you want on this episode?
Everyone, man. I mean, most of the outline is for Austin and Ross. You guys there?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
How's it going, man?
What up, fellas? But, yeah, everyone can chime in whenever. I mean, this is another fun episode. Steve, I'm reluctant to say you're not going to have much to say on this one.
Thank you for saying
you want me to mute him now, or are we good?
No, we're good. It was good to hear his voice, ironically. I actually have him in the outline. I have a couple questions about him in the outline, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. So it should be a lot of fun. And first and foremost, how's everyone feeling, man? Let's go around the room.
Well, good. I forget you're recording right now.
He's recording.
We'll start with Russ.
I am recording.
I'm doing pretty good. We just had a big conversation ahead of this podcast and had a good time with it. So feeling good.
Nice. So Kurt was prepping you to that where shitty podcasts just kind of do him the favor and go on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I gave the rundown, dude. I was like, listen, I feel bad for them. They're from the East Coast. They don't know any better.
They need the knowledge.
Weird over there.
Yeah. Well, what's good, Austin? How you?
Oh, doing good, my man. How are you?
Good, man. Good. I feel a little betrayed, like I'm betraying you because I don't have whiskey in front of me or bourbon.
You know, last time we sat down, I think it was what was it? Elijah Craig 94 proof. I think that's what we were sitting down with.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll have to remedy that again this year.
Yep, shoot's coming up.
Hell yeah. What about you, Kurt? How you feeling, dog?
Good, man. Real good.
Awesome.
Too good, probably.
Us too, man. You guys just finished recording an episode as well, right?
Yeah, we did a quick one. We did a kind of it might be a backstock one. I don't know. Maybe not. Depends. We recorded one while they were here for backstock when the baby decides to make an entrance.
Man, you're a smart feller, man. That's good, man.
You're a pretty fart smeller. Yeah, I had to though because I'm gonna want to take like a couple weeks off and kind of like gather my own conscience for a little bit.
Hell yeah.
You're not going to be sleeping for a couple weeks, so it's a good plan.
Yeah, dude, I'm thinking about picking up cocaine.
That's a good.
That's
good plan.
I would.
Solid advice. You should say that for the ninja tip, actually.
Oh, okay.
As a new daddy, pick up cocaine.
I joke around about that at work, and people are like, "Dude, are you serious?" I'm like, "No, I'm not serious."
They say,
"Why? Do you got any?"
No, they're like, "Dude, you good? You need some?"
Yeah, I work with a bunch of squares. So.
See, Steve works with a bunch of circles. That's why they all eat Arby's.
Yeah.
Nice and round.
Move around, man. I don't need to hear none of that nonsense. This is not a negative podcast.
Okay.
Move around, son. Take a lap.
What's
Take
up?
a lap,
So how you feeling, Steve?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Brought the turtle to my new home.
Keep it to a minimum.
And I got a dog, and I live by myself. Dude, it's the shit. I don't have internet or TV at my house, so I literally have to just focus on my sad, pathetic life. So I'm getting better.
Know what'll keep your mind off of your sad, pathetic life that's actually on the rise, so I congratulate you, is go shoot your bow. Your own motto to the show.
That's why I came here today. I got to get my broad force target back from Kurt so I can actually shoot it in my yard.
Too bad I gave it to my dad so you can go fuck yourself.
All right, well, back to my sad thoughts.
That's awesome.
My dad shoots his bow more than you will ever shoot your bow. And Papa Dave has earned it more than you've earned it.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue.
He birthed me, and he shot a 188 pointer. So
I think his life's complete right there.
I love that you put yourself over a 188 pointer.
I came first.
Actually, technically speaking, he came first, then you came out.
Oh, this is your show, not mine. And mark that explicit.
If you just tuned in, turn the radio off.
Nobody just tuned in. They've been playing it from the beginning. It's a podcast.
Is Trevor drunk already? No, it's a joke.
I'll let him answer that.
Yeah, he knows.
I'm good.
Well,
I just hope that you shoot your bow way better than you ride a bull. I just wanted to say that.
I would say you could outshoot him, Trev.
Dude, I've got that video, Trev.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Steve used to be really, really, really good shot. I think you probably still are.
Oh, I know I am, dude. I'm sandbagging so you guys feel better about yourself.
When the podcast first started, this is a fun fact. Steve would shoot league all the time, and we did the first year we started the podcast, we had more time, and we hit every 3D shoot you could in our whole 50-mile radius of where the studio is, probably a little over 50 miles. Every one we were at a 3D shoot, Saturday and sometimes Sunday. And Steve was a savage.
Damn, that's awesome. I did not know that.
He was a savage on spot target, but I always beat you in 3D.
Yeah,
that's the yardage.
If you played what did we always play? Pig. We'd play archery pig. You shoot for this spot.
I got you and Papa Dave once, and it was an intense game. Dude, we were stuck on P for quite a bit.
Yeah, I think I came back and beat you once. I had to get redemption, but. You were, dude. You used to be a goddamn savage.
All right. Do you want me to pick it up? 3D season. Do you want me to be a savage again?
Hold on, Steve. I need to interrupt. Hold on 1 second, guys.
Yes, sir.
Shabby.
Let me. It smells like a milkshake IPA. Am I correct?
Close. Smoothie shop.
Yeah, that's the milkshake.
Damn.
Is that the milkshake?
Yeah.
No, it's a smoothie.
Yeah, smoothie shop is a milkshake. IPA.
Do you bring
Steve's right. Steve's right.
Damn, Trev brings the milkshake to the yard.
You hear it once, dude. It's like that chick that you nailed once and you never forget, dude. I know the sound that you make.
Steve, that's yet to happen.
Was right, and then he got cocky.
Real cocky. Dude, that's how I hunt deer. I'm like, yeah, pattern the fuck out of that 180. No, he's just having to walk by.
Oh,
this is what I'm going to say when I shoot my first 180. Good luck, brother.
Oh man,
I'm still waiting on
You
mine.
gotta say it all starts with gold.
Yeah, so we just finished recording with Tom McElroy, which was a survival episode, which was really cool. And Trev and I are sitting here like, okay, we'll take it easy on the beers. It's earlier in the day. And then before you know it, an hour and a half later, like, fuck, where's the Yingling Light when you need, or the Bush Lattes to take a little break? So we're deep in it, but we're not slurring our words yet, so I guess we're in the clear.
You sound great, man.
So that means he was saying that the Bush Lattes would sober him up.
No, it's a break from the craft beer, man. Craft beer is no joke.
Oh, gotcha.
You can't drink craft beer all night, man. One or two, and then you got to back off. It's just it's too much for the taste buds, too. It's a lot of alcohol, but it's too much for the mouth.
I mean, yeah, I won't comment on that one. But anyways, at the Airbnb is the only time I see that acceptable. You know what I mean? Or at least allowable.
This show sucks.
Who drinks a keg of craft beer? That's what I want to know.
We do.
A real one does. That's who.
Here's my favorite, man. With Shabine. That's the good one. You can just pour nice. It's almost like wine. You can just sip on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite coat the stomach, but yeah, it does a good number.
Yeah, no doubt. Sorry, we're all over the rails, man.
I want to know if we're talking about deer, turkey, goats, salamanders. What are we talking
Yes.
about?
I've never had a good salamander hunt. My ears are perking up.
All right, man.
On creek bottoms.
You know what?
On a northeast wind.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were big frog hunters.
I've done some frog gigging.
Yeah, I've done a few frog gigs.
Nice.
I like to hunt turtles. My turtle is mad at what I hunt because he's tired of these fat redheads.
Steve collects turtle urine to bring them in.
Yo, I got a turtle and heat lamp piss. What's good, dude? What's that pull in?
Heat lamp. What in the hell?
I don't know. I don't know where this goes. For some reason,
mute my mic before I say some more stupid shit. I'm gonna sit back and let Ross and Austin actually talk about some shit.
I laughed at that last one, dude. I'm not ready to mute you yet.
All right, let's kick it off, man. The quote unquote Raustin episode. Austin, Chandler, and Ross bigger than life bigger. Who are you? Where you from? And where can we find you? You guys decide who goes first.
Well, I'm Austin Chandler. Yeah, I've got Facebook, Instagram. I don't. That's pretty bad. I don't even know what my handle is on Instagram.
We're gonna step your Instagram game up, man. I'm gonna help you.
Yeah, I need that. I think it's Austin Chandler 1197.
Yep, that's it.
I think that's
I
it.
know.
But yeah, like to hunt deer, do a little turkey hunting. It's what I do.
And slay shit. And where you from? Where you from, Austin?
Midwest. I don't want to give away my location, but I'm in Henderson County, Illinois. We'll do that.
All right, sounds good.
You know that dude kills big bucks, right?
Yeah. Sounds good. What about you, Ross?
Oh, I'm Ross Bigger. I'm from Biggsville, Illinois. Instagram is Ross Bigger 219
and Ross Bigger's beard.
And whatever.
No, don't follow that.
Whoever started that.
It was not me.
Anyways, born and raised hunting deer and learned to hunt turkeys and enjoy every bit of it. So,
hell yeah. How you boys run into each other? How you guys come to meet?
We live about 10 minutes apart, and our town's got about 1,500 people in it, so it's kind of one of those things where everybody knows everybody.
And everybody knows where you live now.
And pretty much. Ross gave it away when he said Biggsville. So. God damn it.
Son of a bitch. No, honestly, Austin and I hadn't really spent much time around each other. I'd say that there was some talk around the community about somebody killing a big deer and then another big deer and another big deer. And they kept saying this Austin Chandler guy. And I decided that maybe him and I ought to meet up and chat a little bit, and we started talking and anyways, we hit it off and we started hunting together and kind of grew into a pretty good friendship. So it's all along we didn't know we were this close to each other, but we hit it off and shoot, we're like Austin said, only about 10 minutes away, so we end up spending a lot of time around each other. So
Sort of like peas and carrots.
yeah,
Peas and carrots.
Peas and carrots.
There we are. There we are. So what got you guys in the woods when you guys were lads?
Oh boy,
I was blessed to be born into a family. My grandfather farmed, my dad farmed, and I kind of got into it. And we've just always been blessed to own our own properties. And when you own good hunting timber, it's just kind of a second nature to walk out there and take a look around and kind of check it out. And I guess that's how I got into it.
I'd agree with Austin on that. I'd say that we've been blessed to have some family farm and a family farm ground, and we have my dad kind of got me into the deer hunting when I was young with a shotgun, and I kind of transitioned into a bow, and then figured out how to hunt some turkeys on my own, and kind of went from there. So we kind of hit it off. We got the same interests, and we really enjoy hunting big deer.
That's badass, man. Do you guys sometimes like secretly hold hands walking into the woods when you hunt together, or?
Hey man, Team Raustin.
Hell
Team
yeah!
Raustin.
I'm glad you bring that up. Actually,
it's like an unspoken agreement. We just kind of do a lot of unspoken things we don't talk about.
So in the podcast world, you guys have done a few episodes, even on carbon together. How you guys enjoying that? It seems like you guys do bounce off of each other pretty well in conversation.
We mesh well. You know, when two guys have similar interests like we do, it's just a really big coincidence that we grew up as close as we did to each other. I mean, we're both big buck hunters. We like to target the same kind of deer, and it's hard to find that kind of guy that's on that level. And I feel like Ross and I are on that same level. So, no, we're just having fun with it, man. It's always fun to bounce ideas off of each other and strategies. And, yeah, we're just having fun with it.
And you always find that guy. You find that buddy that you look for, that you mesh well, like Austin said. And it's really fun when you can sit there and break down your hunt plan. And I'm on this buck, man. What do you think I ought to do? This is the sign I seen. These are the trail cam pictures I got. Like, this is my plan. What do you think? Should I alter it? Should I do something different? And the both of us can just encourage each other and give each other just hints here along the way, or insight, and go from there. So
nice, man. That's nice.
Yep.
So, speaking of which, since you guys bounce off each other in game plans too, who did you guys look up to then, versus who you guys look up to now, presently?
Boy, I guess I'd say for me, I grew up watching the Monster Bucks. I bought every DVD they ever came out with. I watched a ton of different videos, but Michael Waddell was a big one. I watched everything he did. That was kind of building my hunting career, just feeding off of what he had to say. And then to compound that, started talking to some guys that are closer to home and more Midwest based, and even some that are northern based. So a few of them we've ran into and get some really good insight from. There's a lot of things that I thought I had figured out, but I'm constantly getting feed from these guys. It makes me change my game just a little bit and want to go out there and try what they're saying, because it seems to be working when they're knocking down giants, booners every year. So you kind of weed through everything and find those guys that you really want to, that spikes your game just a little bit, something you hadn't thought of before. It makes you feel like a better hunter until you get to go out and try it, and then it doesn't work, or it's not working in the way you want it to, and then you kind of second guess. But realistically, bottom line it drops down to those guys know what they're talking about, and it works. So you just got to put in the effort, and I guess to go into it just a little bit, these guys are talking about scouting before hunting, and we're talking, it gets really deep really fast. So I'd say just looking up to several different guys helps a lot. So
Hell yeah. What about you, Austin?
Oh, man. Back in the day, Bill Winke is the first one that comes to mind. I mean, he's just an animal. Lee Lakowski, the kind of deer that I like to look at, 160, 170 plus type deer. This guy's getting on them every year. God, those are my two big ones, I guess, when I think about guys that I used to really look up to, and I still do. Just very dedicated, mature deer hunters. Those are, and of course the Drurys. They're obviously doing the same thing that I like to do. We're looking at 5+ year old animals, trying to hunt the best deer on the farm, and really look up to those guys. And jumping on ship with the working class boys. I'm starting to do a little research and learn about the DeQuistos, and just really look up to those guys and their style of hunting, and just anybody that you can pick up advice from and learn from is it's going to be key.
Yep, and I couldn't agree more with that, only because that's what I've come to find myself, is I find myself surrounded by big buck killers, and this is something that I forgot what episode, Kurt, we touched on this, but you just got to learn when. Oh, you know what? It was our last episode on episode 60 in the dungeon. You said you just got to learn when to shut the fuck up and listen.
I don't remember saying all the stuff that you remember, but it's true.
It's true though. It's true, and. Maybe that's why I remember all this stuff, is because I'm just sitting there and soaking it all in like a big sponge, Well,
I think my problem is I just do too many fucking podcasts.
Well, yeah.
But I love doing it though. But how many conversations can you remember?
I would say the ones that stick out to you the most. Safe to say.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I mean that's true though. There's a lot of guys that, and I catch myself doing, I think too, like especially in hunting and even more so in business. But yeah, I mean, there's a handful of guys that I really look up to. I look up to a lot of people, I think, but it's different when that person that you look up to really motivates you. And there's only a handful of those people that that makes you want to take your bowhunting skill to the next layer.
And it helps when you vibe with somebody too. Like when you guys mesh. When you find somebody or somebody you want to listen to, that you mesh together, your interests, your everything, you communicate well, that helps a lot, because you want to listen to what they have to say.
Yeah.
Word, it's not anything fake. Just like just being yourself, and it's actually something that keeps you into the conversation, for sure.
Right, and I like that shut up and listen, because there's a lot of times I think I got it figured out, and I try to tell somebody, and then I get... it backfires, and then I really don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So it's really nice to listen to guys that have an idea, or sharing experiences, bouncing ideas off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of tweaks your mind just a little bit and your thoughts, and then you go out maybe with a different attitude and a different mindset. So
right, I think there's a lot of guys that, and maybe I'm guilty of this somewhere along the line, but I try not to be. There's a lot of guys that might only be 2 years into the game, a year into the game of hunting, and they're hustling, they're doing their thing, but there's only so much you can learn in that amount of time.
Right.
You've just barely scratched the surface. No matter how hard you dive into it, there's things that won't stick into your knowledge when you go to apply it at new things, and it might take. And I know Austin. We've had this conversation. I've had this conversation with Cody DeQuisto. It does. The reason why you don't see a lot of heavy influencers in the outdoor industry that are under the age of 35, under the age of 40 even, is because it takes 12 to 15 years to really know deer and learn how to deer hunt and build up that impressive wall of big bucks that prove that you put the time in and dedicate the time. So it takes a lot of time to be able to be that guy that can talk about knowing what the fuck you're doing out there. And it takes consistency to prove and be able to earn the right to talk about certain things that make it seem like you know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right.
You got to have the years.
Very well said.
Very well said. Imagine all the knowledge that Steve's soaking in right now because he's shutting the fuck up and listening.
I don't think so.
No, brother, I'm taking portrait photos on my iPhone X, brother.
It's not even Friday, and it's Shut the Fuck Up Friday.
Shut the fuck up Friday.
I mean, it's true though, man.
No, amen to that.
No, I'm with you, man.
I'm guilty of it somewhere along the line. Someone could find me being guilty of that somewhere, but it just takes experience, man.
Hell yeah. So on that same note, we were talking about who we look up to, and we're still talking about who we surround ourselves around. And Raustin, this question is for the both of you. How'd you guys meet up with WCB?
I'm gonna let Ross take that because Ross knew these guys before I did, and I just kind of hopped on.
So I was actually I'm an electrician. I was working close by, and I ended up coming into town, Sherrard, and eating at the bar, and ordered a meal, and the bartender was bringing us our food, and she had camo on, and I just kind of started talking about shooting bows, and she said she shoots a Matthews, and I said I felt sorry for her, and so anyway, we started talking, and I said, how about I'd heard about these working class bow hunters through Clark Cummings, and he had done a podcast with him just recently. It was his first podcast, and him and I were talking quite a bit, and I ended up asking her how close the working class bow hunter studio was, and she said, well, it's just right behind the bar. And I said, well, that's cool. I said, I've never met those guys. Are they pretty cool? She goes, yeah, they're cool. They come in here and give me shit about my Matthews bow all the time, but they're pretty cool. And I said, awesome. So I went home. I finished the job for the day, went home, and Clark had actually given Kurt my number, and Kurt called me up looking for a bow for his wife, Sam, and he ended up coming down and checking out my little bow shop I had set up, and we kind of hit it off from there, and he said, you should do a podcast sometime. Right before they went home, he said, you ought to come up, and I said, yeah, that'd be awesome. So we set it up. I came up here and did my first podcast, and it was the first or second podcast I did with him. I said, you guys really need to meet my buddy Austin. He's a deer killing machine, and I think we'd have a pretty good podcast. So it kind of just basically started at the root and worked its way up into a great big flower. So
I have not heard that story and like complete like that since we've met, and I've like kind of forgot it was the
weird.
bow. Yeah, that's cool the way shit snowballs, dude.
Yeah,
I never really thought about it.
The first episode I did with you guys was the 164 outdoors episode at Ross's place. I think it was like 120s, 130s, something like that. The Elite had just come out with a new lineup. We just got back from ATA.
We just shot them at Ross's house. Was it? It was the option series. It was the option series.
Tempo, all that came out.
It's been about 2 years ago.
Fuck, dude.
Yep, that's how it all snowballed.
So
man.
I just looked at that cover art of that episode we did at your place, Ross, the other day. I got to pull it back up. I have it posted.
That was Austin's first show.
I was still working at the farm. Can I tell a funny story?
We just took over the show, man.
Sorry,
we're on a really good note here.
I'm sorry. Not so funny as I owe Austin.
No, we don't got to get into
the
story.
No, but the first time I met Austin was at that Whitetails Unlimited banquet.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at a table, this is great group of guys. And I'm sitting there like I got a full beer, and Ross.
I invited you.
Yes.
I wanted you to come sit at our table. I had a full table except for one guy.
It was a great time. I'd love to go again. It was this very nice barn out in the middle of nowhere, and Ross is like, hey, would you come out? So I'm sitting there, and I start, kind of shaking hands, like, hey, this is my buddy Austin. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. I hope you don't got some goofy-ass 8-ball tattoo. That was wrong. But I had, like, a full beer, and then everybody's sitting down, and Ross goes, hey, come out and get a beer with me. Ross don't drink beer, and I got a full beer. I'm like, okay. So I go out there, and we're just kind of talking, and Ross gives me the whole the whole speech of, hey, this is Austin. You know how we joke around, we crack jokes and stuff. It's cool with me and you, but when we're talking deer hunting with Austin, you shut the fuck up and listen. He gave me that.
We don't. Me and Austin don't joke like.
No, he's like, we joke and shit. But he's like, when we're talking deer hunting, we don't joke. So I came back, and Austin is just a nice. You know how nice Austin is. He's like, hey man, did you guys get a beer or whatever? Just being real nice. I'm like, I look at Ross, I go, yes. Stuff like that. So it's never that I thought like Austin was an asshole, but like I knew that there was a new knowledge that I needed to learn from. So it's been nice that it's been a real fun journey of knowing these fools and kind of being on that. But I thought that'd be a fun little story for you guys.
I love that story. That's
awesome. Do you remember that day?
I do remember that day.
I have a picture, and Austin does not like to be hugged, and I found it, and I was going to send it to you. There's me hugging Clark, his boy, whatever that kid's name is, kills bigger deer than me. We're not going to bring him up anymore. And Austin standing off to the side. I have that picture. I will send it to everybody. But, yeah, that was a fun night. That was the first night I met you, and it was one of the best nights of my life.
It was a good time.
Had a great time.
More than you bargained for, huh, D-Rock?
No, not at all. Well, coming from Steve?
Yeah.
No, definitely not coming from Steve. But no, this is what I like to do on the show is kind of get people to tell their story. This is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. So, and it's all stuff that I never knew personally. So these are all personal questions, to be very honest. And I try to put myself as, quite honestly, a WCB listener. And what questions they might have as well for these guys as well as you guys. So you guys are laying it down perfect. And Steve, the fact that you're bringing up grabbing a beer, what are you guys sipping on right now? Let's go around the table.
Who are we starting with?
Let's start with you, Kurt.
Blue Moon.
Nice.
I'm doing margaritas on cheap tequila.
Really?
I got a chuckle out of the background on that.
I was laughing.
That's Trev back there.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm on Crown and Root Beer.
Nice.
Always.
Nice.
Yeah, never not.
Never not.
Never nada. Not for nothing. What you got, Steve?
I got a John beer.
I'm sipping on some Busch Light that has been out of the fridge since the last time we talked on a podcast.
Really?
Yeah, that shit was still sitting in here. I'm drinking it. D-Rock, listen. I know it's your podcast, but I want to ask you a serious question because we discussed this. I'm going to start doing it. I want to start getting into wine. What is a wine that a baller on a budget should be drinking to get the most
box of
classy but effective?
Puts me right out.
Yeah, so what am I drinking?
You're drinking the Diseño Malbec from Argentina. Preferably 2016. That's a real good
All
beer.
right.
Conversation closed.
I'm on it.
That's on another level.
Coat that stomach.
Nope, that's good.
Yeah. So let's jump right into each individual as far as Austin and Ross. Give us a little background to present, and let's start with Austin. You recently started providing a service, yeah?
Started outfitting, yep. It's not a real serious thing. I've got some close friends that wanted to come and hunt, so I think I've got 7 hunters coming to hunt with me this year. Yeah, it's not a real serious thing, but always open to having some new guys show up. Somebody that vibes well, so always open to that.
Maybe people from the East Coast.
that could be a possibility.
That's cool, man. That's cool. And what drove you to do that, though?
You know, I honestly bought a new farm last year, and I was coming up kind of short. I'm a farmer, so corn and soybean prices are kind of low right now, and I was kind of looking at a way to make up the difference to help make that farm payment. And I thought, I might just have a couple buddies show up and hunt this farm with me to help make this farm payment, and it kind of snowballed from there.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Do you have a name in mind just in case it does blossom into a flower?
I'm not thinking that big. I don't think it's ever going to be really big. My goal is to have some really close-knit dudes that I can have come back every year, and that way I don't have to hunt for clients every year. So I don't really have any name in mind.
I'm sure something will come up. Oh, yeah. You're always surrounded by good people, so and that's definitely I mean, ever since I learned of that, it's been in the back of my head. When I think of, Austin Chandler and what you're involved with and everything that you bring to the table too. I look up to it because it's not easy maintaining land like that, especially a farm.
Right. No, you don't want to flood your ground down. I mean, you want to be able to maintain that quality animal for everybody. So if you have one or two hunters on that piece, that's all you want to have. You don't want to flood it out. And I'm not the kind of guy that leases thousands of acres out. So, it's just going to be a really tight knit family when I have guys over. So you want to come out, I'll have that Elijah sitting on the shelf up there.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I'm looking forward to looking at the man cave. It's like a mini museum from the pictures I've seen. So
no, I appreciate it, my man.
Hell yeah. So
D-Rock, imagine my living room and times it by 5.
Damn.
I don't know about that.
What's the price in admission though? Because I'm Mexican.
Oh man, just bring a bottle.
All right, word.
Let's jump the fence, bro.
No, I'm more of a digger, sir.
Oh, I'm more of a digger.
Okay. Either that or I'll put the hard hat on. It's okay. It's okay. Just walk right on by.
That's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, you look like every drywaller I know.
Dude, that's kind of been my MO that you bring that up, Kurt. It's just,
dude, you can get in anywhere. There could be like backstage passes to like Justin Timberlake. You're like, it's fine. And just walk back and be like, okay, cool.
He looks legit. He looks legit.
I don't know how he does it all the time. Like when we're at the Iowa Deer Classic, he just pulls in the parking lot and he's like, yeah, I got to drop off some equipment. And then just pulls up, parks. We're like 2 feet from the front door every single morning. He convinced the same guy twice that he was supposed to be there.
You just got to act like you belong.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's what America made me, so I owe it to America. So, Ross, your background into present, please.
My background into present. Okay.
Yeah, as far as like what you're involved with and how it evolved into now, or what you separated from or whatnot.
All right. So, I started out shotgun hunting. My dad taught me to shotgun hunt when I was 12. I think I took my gun out in the woods. He set me up on a hill, and nice, pretty good size 8-point for a first buck. Walked in and I shot him. That got me hooked right away. So my dad was only a shotgun hunter, not a bow hunter. About 3 years later, I picked up a bow and taught myself how to shoot and figured out things along the way. Shot a couple deer my first year bow hunting, and then I went back out a couple years later, the next couple years, and then shot a couple more deer, and then I decided to pick up turkey hunting and got into the turkey hunting, kind of learned along the way, and seemed to work out, and everything felt good. Killed a couple turkeys, and since then it's been a little dry, but I'm still learning. Every time I go to the woods, I learn something. But I guess deeper background. You want to know? Do you want to know work wise, or you want to know all hunting wise?
Whatever you feel comfortable with. Let's start with work, and then how you transition into running into Clark.
Okay, sure. So I started out at 16 years old, following around an electrician in the summer between school, and learned how to do some wiring. And I decided that I wanted to go to school to wire. I have a family farm at home. We raise a bunch of cattle, and I decided that working with tools was what I wanted to do. So I went after being an electrician. So that seemed to work out pretty good. That farmer electrician that I was following around, farming took number one. So he went back to farming in the fall, and I started out with another electrician, and then graduated high school. And as soon as I graduated high school, I went to Carl Sandburg College and started my Carl Sandburg education in industrial control. So I did that, and I worked all day. So I did that at night, and I worked all day. And once I got out of that, I started in talking. Actually, I met Clark shortly after, and we started talking about turkey hunting. So he had actually hunted on my family farm way before I knew Clark. My grandpa had let his dad bring Clark and his brother back behind what we call our feedlots, and turkey hunt for, I don't know, 10 years ahead of me even meeting Clark. So he had already been there and seen the farm and knew it in and out before I ever knew who Clark was. So after I got started, I was wiring, and then I had an opportunity to buy a business, and I bought it out, and I started my own electric business. I ended up meeting Clark a year later, and we started talking about where he had hunted turkeys and where he'd hunted deer and all that. And long story short, it was kind of cool that he had hunted the same property that I grew up on. So anyways, we kind of hit it off, and we talked for a little bit, and we ended up hunting together shortly after. And from there on, it kind of just blossomed into a nice little friendship. So.
Hell yeah. So let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Okay.
the Big Buck 101. I mean, there's a ton of questions that people want to learn from you guys, along with the rest of the Big Buck killers across the nation. And let's start with the basics. What's your guys' bow setup? And you go down the list how you see fit.
Oh, I'd say bow setup wise, I tell you what, I started out with a Fred Bear First Strike that had like a 39-inch draw, and I'm kidding, it's not 39, but at the time that bow was given to me, and I felt like it was 39. I was clear behind my ear, but I learned to shoot that bow and went out and shot my first 2 deer with it, and my first real solid bow that I felt like I was high rolling at that point. I bought a Matthews DXT, and I mowed a lot of yards and worked my ass off to be able to afford that bow. But I got that Matthews DXT and went out and shot a doe with it, and shot another doe with it. And that second doe that I shot, she had come in right underneath the stand and bedded down with 3 other does. And I felt like it was early in the day. It was like 3 o'clock, and I waited and no big buck showed up. And so I thought, you know what? It's early in the day. I'll go ahead and shoot this doe. So I shot her, and as soon as she jumped up and took off, all the other does jumped up with her. And I looked down the trail that they came up, and that great big 217 that I shot was standing there staring at me.
Holy smack!
A what?
So I was sick and didn't sleep for 3 days, but it was 4 days later. I went right back in the same spot with my climbing stand, and I went up the tree and waited. And I actually went in there about noon, and about 5 o'clock. It was right before 5 o'clock, about 10 till 5. He came back following that doe, and just creeping through the woods. So I sat there for a long, long time waiting on something, and I didn't see a deer until that doe showed up. So she showed up, and he was following her, and she came in, and I was able to he was following her real close, but as soon as he came down the hill, I was able to stick him with an arrow. So anyways.
What about you, Austin? What's your bow setup right now?
Well, right now I'm shooting an elite tempo, shooting some elite arrows. I've got kind of a Duke's mixture for broadheads on, but yeah, I'm flipping back and forth between my broadheads, but really love the bow. Shoots great. When I started out way back in the day, it was a Bear Alaskan, and I shot it for a few months, and then I saved up detasseling all summer and bought a High Country Ultra Force, and I killed like 3 big deer with it. and then I went to a Matthews Switchback XT and killed like 6 big ones with that, and then jumped on the Elite boat. But really love the Elite setup. Just a super smooth, really nice back wall. Just a big fan of the Elite.
Amen to that. So, what do you guys bring in your packs? Also, what do you have in your pack when you go into the timber?
Well, it depends on if I'm sitting in a saddle or if I'm going to one of my stands that I've already got set up. If I'm going in my saddle, I toss in some pegs, a bow hanger, my tethered, and just try to keep it as light as I can. Shimmy up the tree, and I'm set. If I'm going into one of my stands, I don't even take a pack with me. I just try to shove everything I can in my pockets and stay as light as I can. I've kind of found if I'm not videoing, I try to keep it as light as I can. I don't try to bring any more than what I need. So I know when I go hunting with Ross, when we're videoing, it's a different story. We each have our own designated pack, and I'm packing in a camera arm and the camera and all the audio equipment, and then he's got his own hunting pack that's got everything in it. So I guess it just really depends on what you're feeling like doing that day.
Cool. And Ross, what's your preference in hunting styles? Is it stands, saddles, blinds, a mixture?
I tell you honestly, I'm pretty big on stands. I really like sitting in a stand just because if you're going to make a long sit, I really like to stand up and stretch my legs.
Right.
And I may stand against a tree for an hour and a half, standing in the stand, leaning against a tree. I feel like in a blind, it's really hard to get stretched out. You can't sit really long sits in a blind, but maybe some guys probably can. I get uncomfortable. So I like to sit in the tree. I like to get in a really big tree, especially a Y. If you can find that Y about 20 feet, 16 feet, when it breaks out like that, you can get away with a lot more versus just a straight up tree. So that's really what I'm comfortable with.
What kind of stand? Is it a climber or hang on or ladder?
It's a hang on. Yep,
Okay.
It's a hang on. Usually it's a lone wolf. So
nice. All
lone wolf for me. I've got a stupid amount of lone wolves I've bought over the past few years, but I really enjoy my lone wolves, and not just a set that sits in the tree all year long. Like I plan and place those tree stands, those lone wolves, right where I want to go.
Are they lone wolves?
That way.
I didn't hear what he said.
Are they lone wolves? I'm sorry, I keep saying
No,
lone wolves.
you have to say sorry.
Lone wolf king, man.
I'm just
He's
being
been lone wolves.
No, I get. I'm
forever.
just being a jackass, man. Don't
D-Rock,
mind me.
I'm telling you right now, the first time I saw his collection, I was like, you have to be fucking kidding me.
Really?
Impressive. Yeah,
Damn.
it's impressive.
That's coming from hanging stands.
I had
Kurt.
30.
Dude, no, I'm telling you, he blows. I mean, my collection's like, I have 4 lone wolves and then like 40 fucking shitty ass Menards like setups.
That's where I'm at.
Ross was buying like pallets at one point.
Damn.
I'm not kidding either. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding.
I believe you.
That's not an exaggeration.
No, I had 30 full sets, so they were stand and sticks, and I always put 5 sticks per set.
And you had cameraman stands for some of them.
Yeah, I had cameraman stands.
What's the difference on those? Can you elaborate for people that might not know?
So cameraman stands are just a floating stand. So the guy that's walking in with the stand on his back, going to hang and hunt, hang and bang, is the guy that has the stand with the sticks. And I always run 5, not 4. Lone Wolf sells 4 packs. You got to buy a shitload of 4 packs to accommodate that many stands, plus an extra 4 pack to make 5 per set. So I don't like 4. You're not high enough. So I gotta get to that Y like I was talking about. So I gotta go 5 sticks high, and you're jumping to the stand in order to get to that Y. But I run that setup. I've ran that setup for years. I love the Lone Wolf. Easy to carry in, easy to get in, fast and quiet, and it seemed to have worked. But no, I run run the 5 sticks on the stand and go in. So the cameraman stand is just a floater. So the cameraman carries one stand on his back. I can climb up the tree. Actually, the cameraman's a poor bastard that has to climb the tree first. So he climbs all the way to the top, and he's got to set his own stand. And I'm at the bottom telling him to hurry the hell up. Usually me. Usually Austin.
Nice.
Hurry the hell up, get that stand set so we can climb in the tree and get set. So that's how we roll.
That's sweet. That's sweet. So once you're up in the stand and stuff, and you're sitting there looking for, the potential kill, what are you guys comfortable? What's your comfortable shooting distance if you have the right lane, and of course, the right conditions?
Ross is a long bomb king, man. He throws some long bombs out there. If you look back on Respect the Game, Ross, how long was that big 8-pointer with the little drop time?
47.
47, and dropped a frickin' bomb on him just right in the 10 ring. I practice back to 70 and 80 yards on a whitetail. I would say 50 to 60s and kind of in my comfort zone. Ross has probably got a 20-yard range on me, but it's just all about what you're comfortable with and how much you practice at that range,
And honestly, it boils down to standing flat-footed in the yard, shooting at a target is way different than standing in a tree that's blowing in the wind, shooting at a live animal that moves. So, if you practice at 80, 90, you ought to be real confident at 50. Other guys may say, well, you can shoot that 70, 80, 90 range if you practice at it enough. But for me, being comfortable, I'd much rather shoot at an animal at 40, 50, 60 than 90. So, I mean, like I say, it's a moving animal. It's alive. It's the conditions are way different. So, you practice enough, you feel confident in your bow, it all becomes instinct at that point. And even in the heat of the moment when your adrenaline is just through the roof, you still follow through without even knowing you followed through. So you just, like Kurt says at the end of every podcast, go shoot your bow. Well, if you shoot your bow, it's all instinct at that point. And after the fact, the arrow hit the animal and you can see the nocturnal or the lighted knock sticking in the ground and the animal's running off and you can see blood. At that point, it's just all instinct. You can't even recap what just happened because it happened so fast. So that's where I'm at on it.
Nice.
Yeah, your body takes over. Your body just takes over all those things and the muscle memory. It just all adds up, and it's just something.
Right, and you have that buck fever in the moment, but you don't really realize it because it's all instinct kicking in. If you haven't shot your bow at all, now you're trying to think about release. Do I have an arrow knocked? Am I, you're thinking too much. So instinct kicks in right in the heat of the moment when it needs to count. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's transition to the approach. Take us play by play. Once you, for example, you want to target a big buck. So let's start from the beginning. How do you guys approach the scouting to something like that, including setting up cams and stuff?
Oh man, every season is different for me. I take a more general approach. If I'm hoping, I've got basically 2 or 3 farms that I'm looking at, and I'll place my preseason cameras out in pretty much the same areas I do every year because I know that area produces. Most of the time, I'm not really trying to pick up a specific deer. I'm just trying to take general inventory in that area. Come October, November, when it's live time to hunt in that farm, that's kind of more when I'm dialing in on a specific animal.
Okay.
And it just really depends a lot on the farm, the situation, how often that deer is frequent in that camera. But I guess what I can say, the biggest thing is put your feelers out early, get out there a couple months before season, put on some cameras in some areas where it's going to produce some pictures, and just take a general inventory of your farms and see what's out there.
That's solid.
And another thing is I've been guilty in the past of littering a property full of cameras, and I feel like that's actually backfired against me. I get some really good pictures, but there's other cameras that I know there should be a big deer on, and hasn't been. And I feel like they know, I don't know whether they do or not, but I feel like they know those cameras are there, and the biggest bucks elude those things. So
why do you think that is, though, if you had to take a crack at why?
At why?
Yeah. You think it's the scent on it, or maybe?
I honestly think it's just less is more. I mean,
I think less is more too, just like Austin said. But I can tell you this: I put a short 10-second or 12-second video up on my Instagram a month ago or 2 months ago, whatever it was, of that Flyer 2 buck that Austin talked about a minute ago that I killed, that bomb. And you can tell in that trail cam video, that was a video Bushnell trail camera. At the time I was running that, and it took an awesome video of him, but he could tell he stared the camera right straight in the lens all the way by.
Does it have that little red light that lights up at all? Or
no, this was broad daylight.
Oh, no shit.
Sun.
Okay.
Like, he knew that camera was there.
I think they're evolving.
In broad daylight with no flash.
I think they're
he
evolving.
He knew it was there, but he didn't really freak out about it. He just knew it was there. He kind of looked at it and walked on.
Right. Yeah. He was walking by, but he was eyeballing it the whole time.
But if you'd have been in there checking it every week,
right,
loading it up with scent, it might have been a different story. If you're going to load a farm up with cameras, be mindful of it and just stick them out there and leave them for a while.
And wait on the windiest day to go check them.
Right.
On a side-by-side or a four-wheeler or something that makes noise. And like Bill Winke, me and Austin sat through a seminar with Bill Winke, and he said he had cameras in the timber, and he would never go check those trail cameras, walk into the timber to check them, unless he fired up a chainsaw out on the edge.
Yeah, so before season, he would deliberately bump deer out of that area, deliberately alert those deer so they're not getting surprised by somebody walking in on them, bump them out, check the cameras, and then leave.
That makes sense because it eliminates how I take that solid advice is it eliminates the surprise factor on bumping out deer, and it's more like a fair forewarning, like, oh shit, there's something there.
You there?
Right.
Yeah.
Our middle of nowhere Sherrard service cut out on us for a minute, so you're spotty.
Yeah, no, I got that on this end. What I was saying, how I take that advice, that solid advice, is that basically what they're saying is instead of giving the surprise factor and bumping them out that way, which is a lasting impression, sort of like when you're a little kid and you get scared by surprise, versus hearing a loud noise in the distance and be like, oh shit, I should probably get out of here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's solid advice.
That's kind of what Austin and we've after hearing that seminar, we both kind of thought that way. So we don't want to go skunk up our best spot by walking in to pull a camera when you're going to bump somebody. So when it comes down to it and the season's getting hot, you're checking your cameras every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks or whatever. You slip in on a windy day, pull them. Once it gets close to season, we won't pull those cameras at all. We'll wait until we go hunt that spot.
Well, actually, sorry to cut you off, Russ. It's just let's backtrack a bit. How do you actually choose the area that you're going to start laying down camera? Are you just specifically targeting sign, or are you?
I'd say for both of me and Austin, we've been fortunate enough to have a family farm that we've been able to hunt since we were young and figure out where those deer like to move.
Okay. Okay.
For somebody that hasn't hunted a piece of property that many times or that many years, it's harder to pinpoint where those deer are going to be moving or where you want to put those cameras. But in our case, we kind of year after year know where to put those cameras to get those pictures and go out there.
We know our farm's good enough to put them in areas that are going to produce, but for anybody, you put your cameras out there preseason, you're putting your feelers out, you have half a dozen, whatever cameras going, and you pick up that big boy. Okay, so you have a big one in this area. Then you put 2 or 3 cameras in that area, and out of those 3 cameras, you kind of start dialing in what he's doing. And then as season approaches, then you kind of, you just try to dial in more on that animal. But you start with a more general approach in the beginning of the season. So you're putting out a bunch of cameras, you get a pointer on one deer that you're interested in, and then you put in 2 or 3 cameras in that area, and you generally try to narrow down on that animal.
Cool. And the scary thing is you could turn around and have a pinpoint on your biggest buck and think that, man, I got him pinned down. I know right where he's at. He's still in velvet though. So we're nearing September now, and you're getting awesome velvet pictures of him. But right in that first week of September, when he drops his velvet, he disappears. Now you got to figure out where he went. Hopefully he's close by. Hopefully he didn't escape to the next farm. You know he's in the area. You know he knows that ground. But how do you pinpoint where he's at now? Because he just dropped his velvet when he had all these good pictures. So it's kind of a it's a heck of a chess game, but it's sure fun when you can figure out where they're at and what they're doing. For instance, I had a deer do the same thing, and he disappeared on me, and I was able, fortunately, he was on the other end of our own family farm, and I checked that camera 2 days before I went and pulled my other cameras, and thought, oh man, he's gone. And then I pulled those cameras on the other end of the farm, and there he was. And I ended up killing him a month later. So it was just crazy how those deer move. I mean, we're talking two and a half miles, I think. 2.5 miles difference. That deer just decided once he lost velvet, he was going to live somewhere else. So every deer is different. Every deer has a different personality and acts in a different way. But anyway.
So I need to take a pee break. So this one, feel free to elaborate a bit. But
I'm right there with you, my man. So maybe I'll hand this one off to Ross.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. He's on a roll anyway. So I like picking your brain, Ross. Are there days that are better days to head in? Like, or let me rephrase that. Are there better days that you prefer to go in and that you know you should stay out as far as hunting a certain deer?
Oh boy. Okay, so better days to stay out. You know, I guess I would put it on the weather. The weather's got to be right. The date's got to be right. You know, I've even the date, like, put it down to the date. It doesn't matter year after year. It feels like if you're in those dates, and what I want to talk about dates. So basically November 3rd, 4th, somewhere in there, until November 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere in there. You pick those days, and no matter what the wind's doing or the weather's doing, if you pick the stand for the best stand for that weather or that wind, they're going to move, they're going to do their thing, but you may not always get to see them in the daylight. They may be working after dark. So it's really hard to pinpoint when and where, but if you're out there and you're watching and you can figure out when, I guess if you can figure out what you're seeing during the day versus what you're seeing on the trail cameras at night, either way, when it's hot, you got to be there, and you put in your time, you may not see a thing, but if it all comes together, it's totally worth it. I'd stick more towards spending your time during those hot days with your best wind stand. But another thing you got to think about is putting the wind in their favor. So I've got a lot of stands over the past few years that I think, man, this wind is perfect for me, but I'm not thinking about them. This is something I figured out in the last couple of years, that you got to put the wind in your favor and their favor at the same time. If you don't put the wind in their favor, you're probably not going to see them. If they are going to move during daylight, they need to be right in front of you, not somewhere else moving around. So anyway, I guess that's kind of my mentality right now is put the wind in their favor, and hopefully it works out. But I've kind of had to go on a rant for a little bit, but
no, that's cool. That's cool. I'm back.
No, so
right.
I got a question about the wind. You say the wind in your favor, the wind in their favor. For our listeners, newer listeners, what do you mean by that? Like, what is the wind doing to be in their favor, and the wind doing to be in your favor?
Oh boy, I like to get on top real quick, Kurt.
Quartering winds.
Okay, so he just said it. Basically, that's what I was getting ready to say, is quartering winds. So get yourself on, which everybody's property is different where they hunt. So, but find those trails, those doe trails, and they always say that a buck will travel the downwind side of that trail to check for does. So, if I find a very heavily traveled doe trail, I want to be on the downwind side, but I want the wind blowing down that trail, quartering, like Kurt said. So, it's still in his favor, but in my favor at the same time. If I can, like my property, I have a lot of great big ravines and ditches and deep, deep draws. So I could get right on a cliff and put that wind in their favor and my favor all at the same time.
You want to use natural topography features that are they're going to put the wind in the favor for the deer, but they're also going to put the wind in the favor for you. So you just have to anticipate how they're going to. In the evenings, it's a lot easier because you anticipate how they're going to come out to feed.
Right.
When I think about this, so that's what I try to do. I try to give the deer enough of a wind to be comfortable to come into the field where I'm still comfortable, where I'm using that topography to kind of bend the wind in my favor, where they're not going to come downwind of me and bust me.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
And those guys that are out there that only have so many days of vacation time, you got to be in the tree. I mean, that's your time off.
True,
you got to be there. You're going to be there.
Right.
So if you can play that game, put the wind in your favor and their favor, and then that's great. So the other guys that have a little more time, I learned some things from the great Cody DeQuisto. Says that he scouts and then he goes in and kills. He spends more time scouting than he does sitting in a tree
during season.
Nice.
So scouting during season. So I'm really kind of intrigued by that, and I kind of want to try that for myself, is spend more time with a spotting scope or binoculars and pinpoint those bucks coming out in the field early.
Mm-hmm. But you've done that before too. We call it an observation set, where you're going to go in, you're going to be a little more conservative on your first few sets and kind of observe what's going on, and then as you kind of get a bead on a deer, then you're going to get a little more aggressive. I think it's pretty much the same kind of concept.
That, or even if it's not an observation, finding like a really fresh scrape line or really fresh rub line coming in off like feed to bed or bed to feed. You know, scouting during season sometimes and making your move right then and there can pay off benefits rather than fucking around in the woods all goddamn summer long,
right?
And then going out and not having a deer to hunt at all.
Right.
If you keep your pressure out, in my opinion, this
something
is not,
that's easily accessible.
Yep. If you stay out of your woods in the summer and don't pressure it too hard and not always be on the grind out there just pressuring shit, and you just kind of apply what you know on how deer move and then go in and tackle them while they're actually there, rather than bump them out of there in August.
Yeah, don't go in and check your trail camera every week. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And to back that up, so when you do check your trail camera, you're sitting that hot spot or spot that you think is hot, and on your way in, you do your scouting. So you go sit that spot and realize there's nothing there for you, then you go sit a different spot with the weather at your back, you know, knowing what the weather's doing and the wind in your favor and all that. You make your decision on that. So,
have you ever noticed anything obvious, like as you're going into your camera, for example, or a hot spot? Have you ever noticed changes in patterns or sign specifically in different transitions, like walking through the woods?
I'd say yes. Not to just jump in here, but I'd say yes. Different times of the year, you know, it changes, and then you get the rut, and you're not. So the pattern or the trails, the sign that you see super late season, like I was just talking about, pruning all your trees, getting everything prepped and ready for the next fall. Those trails may change next season. So they, you know, as far as early to late. So late, they're probably going to be there, depending on the food source. You got to think about the food source. You got to think about rut. What are they going to be doing? So, I mean, it's really, I mean, it's a great big chess game. But in my opinion, no, they haven't. They don't change a lot, but they do change. You may have the sign there, and seems like, man, I'm in the right spot, but it's really not according to that time of the year. Maybe they're on a different food source. Maybe they're doing something totally different. But you kind of catch on to that. I mean, from a distance, scouting and seeing what the deer are doing. If the deer are hitting the alfalfa 1st of October, you need to be on the alfalfa. If it transitions to corn middle of the month, middle of October, then be on the corn. Should you go straight into the deep timber to hunt those big bucks middle of October? Probably not. I don't, but I would be watching and seeing what the does are doing come late October and try to catch those bucks following a doe out to the field, because the does want to hit the corn. So find the food source for the does and try to put yourself in between bedding, water, and food.
Word. And talking about the winds earlier, I couldn't help but all I kept on picturing is your that 8 that came in on you, Kurt, kind of unexpectedly, and you weren't expecting that buck to come from the entryway that he did. So, I mean, not to backtrack a bit, but on that wind segment, can you kind of, the quartering wind and having it in your favor and the deer's favor, can you elaborate a little bit on that? Just kind of touch on it.
Well, my situation with my buck, you're talking about my buck this year?
Yeah, yep.
That situation was because the wind went from one direction really hard in the opposite direction in like within an hour.
Right.
So it caused that buck to whatever he was doing. It was a little later morning. I don't know if he was bedded yet. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was going to bed down and wind shifted. And I think that he was like, fuck, I got to make a move to where the wind works for me where I'm bedding. And then I caught him in limbo in between that transition.
Cool.
So, in other words, my thought on it, and I might be wrong. I might have just caught him by chance. No one ever actually knows, right?
Right.
It's just what you think are the best odds of why it happened, because you don't know what that deer was doing. Nobody would. I personally think he had a plan to bed somewhere. The wind shifted really hard late morning, and he was like, well, I'm going to john up this hill here to get up there where the wind's blowing now and get up there in bed.
So were you hunting that transition, though, that transition wind? Or were you?
Yeah, I knew it was going to
change. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's another tactic too. When the winds change, then you're going from where one bed is to go to another bed when it's on that wind.
And anytime like if you use like a hunt stand app and you see your little scent cone, if you roll like within a 2-hour period and there's like a complete opposite wind change, if you can be in a spot where that wind change is going to work, it's going to work. That wind change will work for you as far as like, your wind's not going to be blowing straight exactly where you're expecting deer to come from, but deer might have to change a bed spot or alter something. That's a good time to be in the stand, in my opinion.
That's exactly. Thank you for that clarity, because that's exactly what I wanted to hear from your guys' mouth. Is you have to think that far ahead, though. Is the point?
Yep. Yeah. If I can see, especially like in October when things might be a little slower. If you have a hard wind change, if I can be in the tree, if I'm not at work, if it just happens so work out on a weekend or whenever, and in my opinion, that's a really good time to capitalize on a buck moving to make something work in his advantage, the wind.
I got a question. Do you do like a morning sit and then know that the wind's going to change and then go to a different set? Or do you just, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you like on a full day sit, if you know that the wind's going to change, you're obviously going to move your set. You're not going to stay in that same stand to go through that wind.
Yeah, I don't really ever sit all day, like day straight through. Like I'll sit somewhere, get down. I always switch in the afternoon usually. But like say when that wind change occurred, it was a little later morning, so I sat a little longer than I would in the morning in an October hunt before that change.
Okay.
Or like if I know, like we'll just say in October, I'm gonna go in. Say I normally go in at say just 3 hours before dark or whatever, and I see a wind change 2 hours before I would have normally went in, I might go in earlier and try and hunt that.
Word.
It's not like an everyday thing. Like that's not a frequent thing that happens. So when I do see it, if I can be there, I try to adjust around it. And I don't know if Austin and Ross, do you agree with me on that?
If I could comment on this, we're talking about an all-day set. Normally, if I go in on an all-day set, I'm not going to set in the same spot all day. I'll go in, I'll hunt my hot morning spot, clear up to noon, and then when I feel like it's time to transition into where there's a better spot for them to come out in the evening, I usually get down, switch up, and go to my other side of the farm for that. I usually don't park all day in one stand, unless it's just super hot with a huge deer in the area where I feel like there's going to be a chance where I'm going to see him morning and night, which has happened. I killed my 13 buck that way, but normally in the morning up to noon, I'm going to spend my time in one area, and then I'm going to drop down and I'm going to go to another area to catch them coming out.
Do you guys agree with me though on that wind change thing, or is that just
agree.
my experience?
I agree.
No.
I also think that over the years, 2012 was nuts. It was the best year I've ever had in the woods. But 2012, I learned a lot that year. I killed
my biggest buck that year. Actually.
I killed Showtime that year, and he
showed you up.
Yeah, he did.
Hey, stop jumping through. What are you guys reading my outline right now? Jesus.
So I learned a lot that year, and what I want to say is, I'd say 10 a.m. until 1:30 p.m. I was working my way into stands that year. Say 11 o'clock, noon, and every time that I walked my way into the stand, it was literally 4 times in a row, 4 different deer, great big ones, were standing. I would get almost to the tree, or I'd get to the tree and look over my shoulder, and across the field, there was a great big 160, 170 standing there watching me the whole time. So what I figured out is, at that point in the rut, or that point in the dates and time, all that, don't jack around and hunt until 1, 2, 3 o'clock, and then back off.
So that is one of the greatest tips I've ever heard.
Have you ever used it to your advantage?
No.
Steve?
Hey, Steve, actually, I have a better question. Since we're talking about all the winds and wind changes, Steve, when you're sitting in your ground blind, when you pass wind, and do you transition out of your ground blind and move your ground blind?
Listen, D-Rock, you can catch these hands any fucking time. You know what I mean? I'll beat the shit out of you, and I'll knock Trevor out in them stupid ass Dickies overalls too. I'm gonna bring up. Let me bring up a real good tip here, and then I'll come back and roast the fuck out of you guys.
Is this Steve's ninja tip of the day?
No, we're not quite there yet, because he's never gonna be a ninja. Number one.
Listen, you guys are trying to throw me off track, but the shit ain't gonna work, because I'm getting right back on track. Ross brings up a good point, and he brought it up with turkey hunting. Wink, wink. Future upcoming episode. There's an episode of Respect the Game, and we've known this about you, that when you go hunting deer, you're like, dude, 9:30 is when you go out. 9:30 in the morning. Everybody's like, you got to be up there before sun's out, and you're one of those guys that you like to let the deer clear the field before you get out in the stand. It's amazing. For a guy who likes to sleep in, it's amazing. It gives me hope. I don't have that kind of desire.
We're not saying we do that every time. We're saying there's situations.
There's situations
that plays into your favor,
right?
But it does play into your favor, and
it's a smaller percentage than going in while it's dark. But
yeah. But it's
I think you just really like that piece of device because you can sleep in.
That's it, dude. I'm hanging on to it.
And Steve's afraid of the dark, just like he'll be afraid of these dark hands smacking the fuck out of his face. But go ahead,
bro. Yeah.
Bottom line,
dark hands.
Bottom line is, I really like waiting and hunting until 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Nice.
Once you get past November 9th, 10th, somewhere in there, all I'm saying is what I learned the last couple of years is the great big boys get on their feet high noon, and you can kill them high noon. So I've got 4 on my wall that I've killed at high noon or within a half hour. So
that's cocky.
That is cocky, man. That's right. See why I brought it up, D-Rock? Do you really want to catch these hands now, bro?
I'll catch them and return them.
I'll put fucking pajamas on you right now. I'll put you to sleep, homeboy. Hey,
pajamas that you're buying at Victoria's Secret don't count. Rocking them 90s.
Pretty when you hey, you can sniff them all you want, because I'll be stuffing up your nose, homeboy. What's good?
What?
Okay. What's good? Catch these hands when you come to the shoot in, is it July?
I don't know what's happening right now.
Who knows? All right, let's stop. The pajamas thing was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I've made Kurt laugh on this podcast twice. Mark it down. I'm done. Cut my mic off. I'm not getting any fun.
Drop that mic. So we were talking about your guys' best year, and Ross, you were referring to 2012. What about you, Austin?
All right, rewind it. I didn't catch that.
2012. My best year was 2012. What about you?
What was my best year?
Yep.
Oh, man. 12 was a very good year. I only killed one buck that year, but I had more shooters on my farm in 12 than ever before. But the year before 11 was, I think we talked about this on the Carbon episode. 11 was a very good archery year for me. Got to kill my biggest deer with a bow, and then within 10 days of that, I followed it up with my target buck, the original deer, my number one hit lister for that season. So, yeah, I did everything I wanted to in 11, but 12 was very good as well.
Yep.
Awesome. What about you, Kurt?
Best year, I killed my biggest deer in 12, 157-inch 8.
Nice.
And then, I don't know, 11 I had a really good year. I doubled up a month apart on 2 really good bucks. Last year was a killer year. Killed 2 good bucks. I don't know, man. I like every year, even the struggles, but I'd say last year, 11 and 12 were my favorite years.
My theory is 11 and 12 were dynamite.
Why is that? Why is that such a coincidence?
And then
it was good for all three of us.
And then we got EHD.
Also, you were referring
to
some
weather patterns.
That's when I started. 12 was EHD year.
Wiped out a bunch of deer. So now we're about top of the mountain.
Just thinking about it, 4 years makes a big buck, and we're
should be happening.
So
maybe this next year could be a good year. Steve, stop fucking making hand signals. I have your mic muted for a reason. I can't hear you.
That's why I'm making hand signals.
See what I did?
Steve, what's your best year?
I muted him. Go ahead, Steve.
No, man. Fuck 2012. That's when I started dating that redhead.
Okay.
Oh, damn it, Steve. You're back on.
I just want to bring it on.
I muted him.
No, I'll tell you guys this. Realistically, come on, man. I want to be serious. I do want to be serious for a second. My best year has not happened yet. I believe that 2019 is going to be my best year. Come on. Did you meet me, dude? You're a dick. You're a dick.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead. You're on a roll.
Go ahead,
dude. I've honestly changed my life around. Things are going great for me. I love Kurt Geyer, but I knew you wouldn't get that one.
You said that. I've changed my life around. I don't know how many podcasts.
Hey, no, but I actually have.
We get it. We fucking get it. Your life is better now. Your turtle's still alive. You have a dog now.
The restraining order is down.
2019
it's been the
up.
same since episode 122 when I started, man. Come on.
You gotta limit your sentimentals, Brohim.
All right. Honestly, this is going to be... Well, I'm calling it right now. The great Bambino, the great Steve Bino is calling his shot right now. 2019 is my year. I'm going to kill a...
tattoo.
I'm going to kill a 122-incher.
No. 126.
Yeah, that way you're in the Pope and Young Club.
Yes.
Very humble.
I don't want to join any clubs just quite yet.
You don't have to
join.
No, please.
This deer hunting thing.
Don't join the club. Just get a 126. That's a realistic goal.
D-Rock... Just for you, I'll shoot a 126.
There you go. So
all right. That's my goal, is get in the Pope Young Club this year.
And I'm glad you segued into future goals because I want to hear everyone's future goals. Let's turn the tables to Ross.
Future goals, oh man,
including hunting. Referring to hunting.
So
the
last couple of years, been pretty tied up with family and buying a house, selling a house, moving, renovating. I think this is the year, so my future goals is 2019, hopefully getting on a big dog and knocking him down. So stay tuned on that, I guess. But
humble goals, man. Humble goals. Accomplishable.
Yeah, realistic for sure. Can't disappoint. What you got, Austin?
I've got a couple, actually. I've never tried public land hunting. And I've got a couple decent pieces right next to my place. I might try to do some public land hunting and try my luck there. And I've never picked up I have picked up a recurve, and I've never had any luck with it. So might try to do some traditional hunting this fall, and might try to do some public land hunting this fall, and just try something new.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah. So that means if you do saddle hunt on public land, you got to throw away them screw steps.
That's a good point.
We talked about that on the way here tonight.
Oh no shit!
D-Rock.
There you go. I might know a guy. But
you might know a guy.
That's
I might
cool.
be interested.
That's cool that you're picking up the trad bow though too, because what I found transitioning to trad shooting, especially Trev and I, we're covering a trad shoot on April 28th in a local archers club, and we don't want to look silly in front of all these old guys that that's all they do and that's their passion. And there's going to be a lot of youngins too that, I mean, where we've been training, there's these young kids just blowing us out of the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're starting from scratch, like learning how to, what's that called, Trev?
Fixed crawl.
Fixed crawl shoot. So this way you're aiming with the tip of your arrow versus like extinctive or gap shooting, whatnot. But what I'm kind of leading to is just picking up that trad bow or the recurve again. Every time I pick up my compound, it's automatic.
Right.
And it's crazy, even shooting like good equipment, because there's so many good bows out there, and I do have to agree the elite bow is just butter. We were at Boneyard's place, and Garrett was there too, and they all started breaking out their bows. I didn't bring my bow. I was like, damn, I wish I'd have brought my bow. And they're all having fun, and they moved back to 80 yards. I'm like, Trev, let me try shooting your bow real quick, because we're pretty close in dimensions. And because of shooting the recurve, first arrow smack 80 yards. And he's like, oh, you got lucky, D-Rock. You got lucky. And everyone's like looking, and it's like, dude, he just picks up a new bow and does this. And Trev's like, well, let me mark the arrow so we know whose is whose. So he goes, he smacks it a little to the right from mine, kind of more towards the ass of the target. And then all of a sudden he's like, here, try again. That was beginner's luck. Boom, smacked it even closer. He's like, dude. I'm like, yo, shoot your trad bow. Shoot your trad bow. It just lets what I'm kind of like trying to make the point in is trad shooting really makes you focus on your form, your breathing, and your focus. That once you pick up the compound, it's like people take for granted how forgiving a compound could be. Imagine if you imply all those same aspects from trad bow into your compound, dude, you're going to be very successful.
I agree completely. And I'm going to back Austin up on the traditional go to the recurve. And I think both of us were talking about trying that this year. I'll back you up on that too, that it seems like when you pick up that compound, there's nothing against compounds because that's what I love. But when you can shoot 60, 70, 85 yards and shoot and kill an animal, it seems like, man, if you could just pull off a recurve, real close call, just a close kill, then man, that's awesome. So
it's that more primal. You're like that 1-on-1 with it at that point. You know, it's not the compound is a great thing, and you can get away with so much as far as it goes with like form and your structure.
It's forgiving,
it's very forgiving. But with the trad bow and also just being one with the bow and being one with the animal at that point, and I think it's something
if I can give any tips at all on shooting a recurve, it's ease into it. Don't try to shoot 60, 70 arrows in one night on your first try. Because I did that, and I thought I was having an epileptic seizure.
In the middle of the night, right?
My neck locked up so hard I couldn't even turn my head.
Straight up.
You got to ease into that stuff.
Yeah, you got to build those muscles because it's
That's
actually
a
different muscle
totally different
group.
set of muscles.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. I woke up in the middle of the night like, why are my shoulders sore and I'm not sleeping? You know? Crazy.
Yep.
It's crazy, man. So that's cool, man. So let's go around the room, starting with Austin for future hunts. You guys have any future hunts that you might disclose?
Well,
aside from public land.
Yeah, Ross and I just got booked for a hunt. It's a few years out, but Ross and I and my best friend
Not for the moose.
Cody are all going on a moose hunt.
Hell yeah!
2021. Papa Bear Outfitters. We're going after some big boys. They average in the 50s plus. So it's going to be a 12-day drop camp, They drop you off a float plane and they come back 12 days later. So good luck. Don't get ate by a grizzly.
That is badass. You guys are definitely filming that, right?
What's that?
You're definitely filming that, right?
I think with 3 guys being there, the first guy probably won't get filmed. And after that, once a guy gets one down, then we'll have a camera guy. So
they're pretty strict on weight. So depending on what we have for
luggage. It's going to be some light equipment.
And batteries and all that shit.
Yeah.
Even like a pocket gimbal or a pocket Osmo or anything like that,
Yeah, you can get by with some pretty light equipment. We're going to have a couple cameras for sure.
Yeah. Yep. We'll give her hell one way or another. We'll try to get something on film.
And where's that you're going? What state?
It's in Alaska.
You're going to Alaska. Oh.
Yeah,
we fly into a little town called Bethel.
Nice. That's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah,
a lot of physical training ahead of time because even once you get up there, the biggest thing is mental. So as long as your mind stays in the game, then you should be good. But
a lot of physical and mental. Yeah, once you get
both.
that animal down, then you got to get him back the 200 yards to 800 yards back to camp to pick up, and between 3 guys, that's going to be a workout for each animal.
And you can't get hungry and pissed and say I'm going to McDonald's. Like there's nothing up there, man. You're eating dried foods and
Mountain House, baby, Mountain House.
Just surviving.
You're gonna get the shits.
Baby wipes. Shout out. That's awesome. Ross, what do you got for, aside from that one, do you have anything other planned in the future?
Oh, no, I honestly, I don't have too much planned. I want to go back to South Dakota pretty bad.
What
South
for?
Dakota mule deer, whitetail. We're outside of Rapid City, about 30 minutes from Rapid City, South Dakota. My buddy's got a lease up there. I'd really love to go up there and hunt that again. Came so close to killing a big chocolate muley my first time out, and I ended up killing a big, decent-sized 10-point whitetail.
Nice.
But, I'd love to go back out there and do that again. So,
hell yeah. And Kurt, I know you have some. Can you disclose one or two?
Yeah, dude. I'm going to South Dakota in September to hunt with the boys from Buckstorm. We're going to do all public land, antelope and mule deer hunt.
Nice.
Going with Papa Dave. I had plans to go to Nebraska, but that might be changing. I might stay 2 weeks in fucking South Dakota and bring the whole entire working class crew out there to do more public land hunting.
Nice.
And we might do it in a limo. And then a month later, I'm going to Eastern Oregon for a mule deer hunt.
Badass lineup. Badass. Yo, tell Buckstorm to hit me up. I reached out not too long ago with that intro, but I haven't heard from him.
I told him to blow you off.
Yeah, probably. I believe it.
I could make a phone call or two.
There you go. Hey, Steve. You still there? You awake?
Oh, here, let me unmute him.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm here. What's good? What's good, homie?
You have any future hunts planned aside from what Kurt just disclosed?
Backyard hunting.
No, dude.
He's not coming to South Dakota. He don't have the option.
No. I'm strictly here in Illinois. I need to focus on whitetail hunting. Before I go venture out, do anything else, I need to focus on purely whitetail.
Good answer,
and
man.
Turkey. Loved it. So
good
that's
answer,
where I'm
man.
at.
I like that.
If somebody was like, "Yo, I got a paid in full hunt for you," it's like, no, this is
like
my
in
goal
Oklahoma?
this season.
Huh?
What?
Sorry.
What?
Good talk.
What, son? No, I'm just no. Realistically,
you just said you turned down a fully paid hunt.
Yeah.
In Oklahoma.
You're so full of fucking shit.
No, I say I would. I
thought you were saying you were going to turn it down because you need to focus on whitetails.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do need to focus on whitetails here in Illinois, and that's my goal this year. I'm not worried about anything else. I talked about a goal on a previous episode. Check it out, workingclassbowhunter.com. Wink, wink. You like that shit?
Awesome. I like that.
But dude, I seriously, this upcoming season, And you can throw this in a ninja tip of the week, any of that shit.
We're not quite there yet, but go ahead.
I'm just saying, but I'm throwing it out there for now. My goal is to get on one specific deer, get on him, and kill him. It doesn't matter his size. Like, this deer could be a goofy-ass spike buck. It doesn't fucking matter, son.
I can picture Steve jumping on it like a bull. It sounds like you're going to ride it.
You know what, though? The fact that you have a plan set down, so to speak, and you have goals, I'm proud of you, man. That was a good answer, though, to focus on Illinois deer. This way you can kind of learn the ropes and fine-tune the ropes before you venture out. So that's pretty cool, man. That was a good answer.
Steve. You got it, buddy.
Straight
That's
up.
where I'm at, man.
We're in your corner. We're in your corner, buddy.
Well, Trev is, but yeah.
And my second goal is during the shoot to have D-Rock stay at my new place, son.
Oh!
You can stay in my... So, check this shit out. I've got a bedroom, and then the room that I got set up for you, my guy, is going to be...
The turtle room.
The turtle... chess and Wu-Tang room.
Oh,
like,
snap.
Dude, the only thing you're going to find in that room is Wu-Tang Clan, chess, the turtle, and literature. So you're staying in that room.
Damn. So I'm going to feel at home like in a jail cell.
Just a room full of flat earth maps.
Yeah, you can't see them because they're paper thin.
Oh, man. So let's kind of take a break from all the deer hunting. What'd you guys think of the Deer Classic when we were all under the same roof? Anyone can go right now.
Oh, I'll go first then because fuck it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool to bring like the two crews together and do some podcasts with you guys and show you guys the Iowa Midwestern way, which is, I don't know what that is, but you were in Iowa, so I figured I'd say that.
Yeah, no, that was cool though. It was a good time.
I know D-Rock worked his ass off making a bunch of food.
He did. It was the bomb, too.
Oh, yeah.
Damn good. We gorged ourselves before we got there, and then I still ate when we got there.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was damn good.
Yep.
Awesome, man.
D-Rock was working for it.
I honestly regret not talking to Austin and both of you guys.
Ross?
Dude, I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm trying to think about... I sound like... I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My fault.
Yeah.
We shook hands and talked for a minute. I don't know. Maybe
the same as Ross Cummings.
No, I know.
Ross Cummings.
Austin Chandler. I'm sorry. I was kind of thinking about what to say, and then I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm shot today,
it's no
man.
big deal, man. I forget names all the time. What's your name?
Trevor. You got me. No.
Hey, what's the name of this podcast?
Yeah. No, I just regret not talking to you guys.
Who's working class?
Yeast Infection Coast podcast?
I just regret not talking to you guys, being buck killers and stuff. I probably could have learned
you were kind
of
busy, man.
Yeah.
Dude, you were slaving away the whole night.
That's Trevor. That's Trevor.
Oh, that's Trev talking. He's the high-pitched voice.
Oh.
He's the guy that was hanging out with me in the basement.
Yeah,
That's who that was.
Yeah.
Me and Steve were causing trouble together.
I know, you fuckers. I won't go into detail.
We had a conversation with Haas for like 2 hours that night, so that was all good. We talked about arrows for like 2 hours.
Oh my god, yeah. That was it was a good time at the Airbnb though.
No, we had a good time.
Nice, hell yeah. So this has been sick. Yeah, that was awkward. But anyways,
can I bring up?
Bring it up.
Something.
Bring it up,
brother.
Bring it up.
No, don't bring up anything, dude. Let him run the show.
No, all right, fine.
No, it's okay. I want to. Are you sure?
Steve's a
we are sure.
Thing.
It was.
Yeah, go ahead, D-Rock.
All right,
D-Rock, it was a serious thing that was near and dear to my heart. But yeah,
go ahead.
We're about to beat this motherfucker's legs, D-Rock.
His legs that are going to get spider
No, take it easy tonight. Take it easy. He hasn't been talking much. Let him shine a bit on this one. Go ahead, bring it up, man. Bring it up.
Hey, okay. I wasn't going to tell a whole lot of people this, but right after Iowa, we met you guys, and we met Garrett, Modern Assassins. About a couple days after, he sent me a message on Instagram. He goes, "Hey man, can you call me when you get a chance?" And I called him and I talked to him, and we had talked to him before, but he had the absolute nicest things to say to me. I don't really have people say nice shit to me a lot, but this guy said some of the nicest things I've ever heard anybody say, and he complimented me, and he's like, dude, I believe in your mission. I believe in your goals. He's like, I believe in you 100%. I want you to be better. I'm going to call you once a week to make sure that you're still on your goals and doing shit that you should be. He has kept up to that. Every week I get a phone call from him, and he's like, the minimum you have to do is tell me one new joke that you're working on to further pursue my stand-up. So I just want to give a big shout out.
Now. Tell us your newest joke.
Yeah. Tell the newest joke.
Do you guys want to hear this?
Let's hear it.
I seriously thought it was a joke. Oh, okay.
Not to cut him off. Shout out to shout out to Garrett Benner. Shout out to Garrett Benner, the modern assassin.
Shout out to Garrett Benner. Garrett, if you're listening to this, brother, I love you to death. After I got that phone call, I cried. After I got that phone call at work like a grown man should.
Lying.
You want to hear this joke? No, I'm not lying.
No, let's hear it.
Cried at work.
Let's hear it.
I have not worked this joke out. This Friday, I'm going to work it out, which is in podcast land. You guys don't know, but you guys hear it tomorrow. The joke is, all right, I'll just tell like how I'm going to tell it. So I'm on a.
How else would you tell it?
That was a good joke.
All right, so
tell how Kurt would tell this joke.
Here's how Kurt would tell it. Steve, shut the. Here's the joke. Here's the joke. So I've been on Tinder lately, and I've been on a couple dates, and one date that stuck out. It was a first date, and a chick dropped the hard R during a conversation. I mean, she dropped the hard R.
I'm not supposed to, what's the hard R?
So she told me, and I quote, "Man, you're just like a brother to me."
Oof.
I can't think of anything else that's going to ruin a first date more than that. Her dropping the hard R and calling me a brother.
I like it. It's a two-sided joke.
You like that?
It'd be funnier in a crowd, but I like it.
It'd be funnier in a joke, so you get it. All right.
Okay. I think Austin and Ross didn't understand the context of that joke.
I'm not.
Okay, hey, do you want to hear what that hard R actually is?
Yeah.
All right, listen.
Don't tell a joke to back up a joke.
It's a slang.
Don't even.
It's a slang word for. It's a racial slur.
There's a two-sided.
So that's part of the joke because she would actually call him a hard R.
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
just
also
waiting on
She
what
called me a brother. All right,
you don't want to know.
There's three sides of the joke. She could have called me a brother, which I feel like I am, but she called me a brother,
So that's
which
a hard
means
R.
the hard R means she loves me. She doesn't love me. She wants to keep me in the friend zone. Like call it like that's
You're
the
not
thing
a
with
brother. You're a brother.
a brother.
And a hard R is also a slang for the N-word.
Yeah, it's a hard slang for the N-word that the guys drop where you guys are from, Gladstone or where the hell you're at.
I'm picking it up.
Okay, there you go. That's the new joke I'm working on.
It needs some work, but
dude, I just thought of it fucking today. I didn't know how to work it. So I worked it out on the East Coast Turkey Hunting Podcast. Is where we're on.
I think they hung up.
Yeah. Trevor's beer. Trevor's fucking drunk beer breath isn't on this. Are you guys still here? Oh my God, they're still here, dude. Jesus.
Sorry.
Okay.
You fell for their trap, bro.
Oh my God. All right. That was a new joke that I thought of.
Sorry, I muted you. I didn't know when you were coming in.
Nowhere. I'm like, that's funny.
All right,
let's see if I can do it.
I muted you at Tinder, so I lost you. But anyways, yeah, that was good. And as far as dropping N-bombs, that only happens on the East Coast Bowhunting Podcast, unfortunately. But anyways,
unfortunately.
let's get back to
By
it.
the way, did you like that joke? Is something that could
I'm
work?
tired of you, Steve. Continue, D-Rock.
Everyone wants to know, what's up with Team Hang and Bang? What's the progress? And it's a two-sided question. What's the progress on it? And let's reiterate the mission of it.
Do you want me to go, or you guys want to go?
You're the man, Kurt. Go ahead and take it.
Well, actually, this is my show, Austin. So let's go with you.
My bad.
Let's hear it from Austin Ross, and then I want Kurt to chime in at the end to kind of wrap it up on
Austin,
this question.
Austin, you were there for the last filtering process.
We've kind of filtered through most of the applicants. Man, I really feel like we've got a pretty solid team. We looked through a bunch of profiles. We've got a bunch of killers, guys that we really want to
guys and gals
that we want to spread the name about our organization. We're really excited about it. It's going to be a close-knit family. We wanted to include a lot more people than we did, but we figured for the first year we'd try to keep it small. That way we could keep tabs on everybody. And, I guess the goal of it is just to kind of promote our name and
create a family.
Create a bigger family than what we've got. So
nice.
Pretty pumped about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's get your perspective, Ross.
My perspective. So I didn't get in on the last final call, but we did get to go through quite a few.
There's still one more call.
Different. Okay, so we got a final.
Yeah, a final
coming
filtration.
up. But otherwise, we went through, like Austin said, a lot of good names, a lot of good people, guys and gals both. The main goal is just to create a bigger family, and we feel like we've got a pretty good name, but it's just the first year, so it may take off and it may do really well, and we want to expand that. I mean, that's the goal, is we want to expand it and get more guys and gals on board and spread our name. And we're just looking for those people that are diehard working class bow hunters that want to be a part of the crew and this pro staff, not pro staff. So
yeah, I don't know what to call it. It's Team Hang and Bang.
Yeah, it's Team Hang and Bang.
Precisely.
Yeah. No, and I guess to follow up on that, it's something that we're like always thinking about or trying to figure out how we want to do it. And I hated to leave everyone hanging, but we just are busy with doing other like shows and behind the scenes stuff. Like
everyone hanging because you're just too busy banging.
Well, I was just going to say that.
We're doing a lot of banging.
but the thing is, too, is it's kind of like, well, if you want to be on the team, it's just some of the deals. So if you're still around when we want to do it, when we send out those that checklist and you're on it, and if you would still want to be on it, it's cool. If you're mad about waiting, then we didn't want you on the team anyway. I mean, really, that's kind of harsh, but it takes time. This isn't something that we just went through really quick and said yes. Like, and we wanted to have a lot more people on, and I think Austin, especially this last round, can attest that I was like kind of tore up back and forth over it. I'm like, man, I think we should make it bigger, but if we make it bigger, then we can't make it as exclusive, and I can't offer these different like exclusive things for this team. The bigger it is, because it's more money out of my pocket that I don't have, because we're all just working class and trying to grow on this. So the first year in, we have to start with so many people, see how it does. If it's worth it, we will add more. If we don't feel like we need to add more and just leave it the same, we'll leave it the same. If we need to cut some, we'll cut some. We just want a good, trustworthy family that are in it for the passion of it. And two, part of it played in is like, are you really in it for the greater good? Or are you in it just to push yourself further? Like push your, like almost selfishly further. We kind of tried to filter some of that. And there wasn't a lot of it. There's a lot of things factored into like how we did the yes pile, I guess. And then we filtered back through it. Now we've sat on it for a few weeks, and we're going to go through it one more time and then put out a roster.
Don't quit your day job.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of those type of deals. But we wanted to make it an exclusive group of killers. We didn't want to make it, or not even killers, but just passionate outdoors people. We didn't want to make it to be like you just sign up and you're on it.
Word.
Because it doesn't mean anything.
I agree.
It honestly
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that honestly sums it up. And we want, if you didn't make the cut, it's not that we don't want you on here. It just makes you want to try harder. So for me, I guess if I didn't make the team, I want to try harder, so I make the team. So even being, even way back as a little boy, if I didn't make it, I wanted to do whatever it took to make it. Mm-hmm. So it makes you try harder and get out there.
And that being said, we don't only have people that are just killing giant deer. That's not what we pick through. there's a very good variety of people on this team, and we feel like we have it well-rounded of all different experience levels. There's some people that have only been hunting a year. There's some people that have been hunting 20 years that are going to be on this team so far that we have in the pile that we're going to put out. That's part of the mission there too, is the mix. Let's appeal. Let's get more people hunting. Let's grow a family. Let's spread the good word on how the working class outdoors person actually is, how they talk, how they act, what they do. We're not all loaded and get to do whatever we want whenever we want. You know, we all earn our time outdoors, and it just gives us another reason to talk to people throughout the country. And we have people from Texas, we have some Minnesota, some Wisconsin, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Nebraska, Kansas. We got a couple Kentuckys maybe.
You guys saw the Mexican from Connecticut, like, fuck him.
Could be some...
That guy's an automatic chew.
Some dark-handed bitch out east. And then maybe some southern guys. I don't know.
Oh, man. This is a great segue to the next question is, and this is, I want to start with Austin on this, is what does conservation mean to you?
Oh, man, that's a deep one.
Get as deep as you want it, man. No homo.
And with what we're doing, I mean, hunters are conservationists, and I feel like without hunters, where would conservation be? You know, we're the people funding it, supporting it, teaching it to the youth. I mean, literally, if nobody hunted, I don't feel like there would be a lot of conservationists. So, you know, we are conservationists. This is what we're doing. This is our goal. You know, this is the biggest goal on what we're doing is not to kill big deer. It's to ensure that our generation, our next generation, our kids are going to grow up and pass this on to their generation. And hopefully when I'm 80 years old, I can look back on my kids as kids and know that I passed something on to them that's going to continue to go on.
How many
I muted you.
Damn it.
Talk here. See if you can go ahead and talk.
I was going to say, when you're 80, how many 200 inches have you passed on? You know, with
I'm
global warming. You know what I mean?
I just want one.
Checking. Ross wasn't feeling it. Ross is not feeling that.
Austin is so sick of Steve right now.
I gave that a no-go.
I unmuted him for 2 seconds, and Austin's like doing the cutthroat thing.
No, Ross is doing the cut thing.
I mean, Ross, sorry.
Bro!
Raustin. At least I have some value to this fucking show.
Thank you, Kurt. No.
So back to it, I'd say Austin just nailed it. That's exactly what I want, to be able to hand it off to generations to come. My kids and their kids. But no, conservation is it's a very big thing. We need to all keep that in mind. Every time we go to the woods, every time we hit the field, it's a big deal. So if we can keep the timber in place, we can keep the deer herd in place, keep the whole herd healthy, turkeys, pheasants, quail, all of it. That's the main goal, because if we don't continue to try and keep that population up, then it'll go away. So we want to pass it on. Long story short, we want to pass it on to our children and grandchildren. So,
Amen. Kurt, what's conservation mean to you, man?
Man, I think it's all about the big picture of the animals we all love and pursue. I mean, in general, I'd go into detail more, but really it's just like overall, it's the big picture in anything. Conservation is funding money to protect wildlife and help wildlife thrive, which we're all part of that process. And the money we spend goes to that process. And anybody can say anything about being an anti-hunter or whatever. They're not putting as much money into what we're putting money in. So they can go fuck right off, because we are the ones that are allowing these animals to grow in numbers, grow in health, and we are the reason why these animals are here today. Wild turkeys is the perfect example. I mean, the list goes on and on. Elk, whatever. You keep going. Africa. Look at Africa. The conservation dollars are all from hunter numbers. It's everything. All the money over there that thrives our economies in these communities where we go hunting is hunter dollars. Whether it's here, Africa, wherever it may be, $100 help the greater good for these animals, man. And I think people, a lot of times, especially if they're non-hunters, will never understand that. And I just had this conversation with an engineer at work. He said he's more of an anti-hunter. He's against trophy hunting. I said, well, what is trophy hunting? Trophy hunting is selective hunting. That's conservation.
Exactly.
It's not shooting infant animals, new animals. It's letting the animal live its life cycle, go through its breeding, let it live through its maturity, and then killing an animal after that. Because if we're not going to do it, something else is going to do it. And if Mother Nature takes them the way she wants to take them, it's a tough death. So there's different layers, but just in an overall general sense, it's the greater good of animals we are passionate about.
Sweet. And I'm glad you bring up the Africa, because specifically, just to touch on that a bit, is the, let's call it the trophy hunter going out there. People need to understand that all that money that's spent towards a hunt in Africa, a lot of that, a big portion of that anyways, is going straight to anti-poaching teams that actually go out of their way to prevent poachers. So it's just food for thought right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Steve,
100%.
I'm kind of scared.
The money's got to come from somewhere, and if they cut North American hunters out of that,
oof, they're done.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even that. Like in Africa too, a lot of the game is given to the tribal people or the people
the less fortunate. Yep.
I mean, that's and then the money, then the hunter, that goes to the government, which goes to anti-poaching.
Exactly.
So it's like
it's a big circle.
What did the liberals do?
They complain about it. I'm scared to ask Steve. What does can you unmute him, please, Kurt?
Yeah,
Thank
right
you.
on.
Thank
Your
you.
show.
I'm scared to ask Steve. What does conservation mean to you?
You know what? This is one thing I'm not going to get wild on, because I believe in conservation. To piggyback on what Kurt said, to me, conservation, dude, it's such a wild topic. All right, so
talk about it with your eyes open, though.
My eyes are open. Ross is already sleeping. Dude, it's the same thing, man. Us as hunters, we pay our fair share to harvest these animals that, we want. Hunters want deer around, right? Like, we're not out here to wipe every fucking deer out.
What if you just summed it up into like one sentence?
I like that.
Just real quick.
I like that.
Like it's one sentence answer.
What is conservation to you in one
sentence? Let's do it.
Well, Ross, I hate to tell you, conservation cannot be summed up.
Well,
in
sum
one
it up,
sentence.
though, if you had to.
What I'm saying is do it.
I like turtles.
What I'm saying is do it. All right, ready? Are you ready? I like turtles.
Okay, that was fun.
I had a pull. All right. Can I sum up conservation in one sentence? Even if Ross wants me to do it. Even if Ross wants to, I cannot. It's too complex of an issue to wrap up in one sentence. And this is coming from me, so that's the end of my thing. I have not put a period in it, but conservation in this country.
This is what D-Rock wants right now, is you to do this shit, and it fucking is killing me. And for listeners, they're probably like, "Man, they're hard on this guy." I was like, "No, you don't."
Oh no,
They don't understand. They don't understand.
I do.
You don't. I'm muting you, dude. I cannot.
No, come on, dude. I have some valid points.
All right, hurry up.
I've got numbers.
No, hurry up. Say it
from public figures.
You got 10 seconds. Go.
All right. Here's a. What the hell were we talking about, Ross? All
right, so
it's a great pizza.
Back to Austin. Mute Steve.
I was kidding. Hold on. Give me 10 more seconds, and I will wrap this up in a bow.
9.
No. Give me 10 seconds.
Just go. Go.
All right.
Oh.
Well,
come on. Fuck.
Here's what conservation means to me. We need to make sure that in any form we can keep and love the things that we do. So if it's hunting or hiking trails, do whatever you can to make sure those things stay open. And love your brother, and also check out workingclassbowhunter.com. Check out the store. I need money.
All right, so
I need money.
It's a magnificent way to end like that.
So Austin and Ross, my next question is, how much do you actually really like Steve? And does his
real fucking question?
Can I pass?
I'll give it.
No.
Here we go.
It's a two-way question.
Talk into your mic if you're going to talk. God damn.
I'm going to pass this to Ross.
Oh, I'm muted?
Listen.
There's a two-part question.
I like Steve a whole heck of a lot. He's got a sweetheart. He's funny. He's lots of fun to be around. He can get annoying as fuck in a heartbeat. But
right now,
I'm really pissed off, and I'm not near as pissed as I was.
he's under exaggerating. Ross is upset.
Dude, you know what? I was real upset when we were at Iowa and went through what was that?
That was ATA.
White Castle?
Yeah, the White Castle.
Don't put cheese on burgers.
Steve, you're killing me, bro. I'm muting. You're muted.
Story short, somehow Steve ended up asking for like 15 sandwiches with no cheese on them, and all of us were smoking.
How they're made?
Anyway,
let him speak. Let him speak.
I told him screaming from the back of the van that I was going to earhole him if he didn't shut his mouth. Earhole. I don't want to be that mad again, but Steve-O, he's a good dude, nice and laid back, gets a little mouthy, drinks a little beer, gets a little too mouthy. He's got a sweetheart, and we like him. We keep him around, but one of these days he might catch a left wing in the nose or in a mouth, or
he just beat his legs. That's kind of
beat his legs.
Beat his leg.
Oh, he's good. We'll keep him around.
And the second part of that question is, does his scent, and this is all in caps, does his scent linger in the buckatorium?
Mainly just when he sleeps, wherever he sleeps usually. But
yeah, we have the room cleans on lock. I run them every time.
Yeah.
Every time Steve leaves, I shut the door and run 2 room cleans.
We plug a ozone go into his ass permanently, so it's really not that bad.
Yeah. The scent crusher ozone goes surgically attached.
Thank God for Scent Crusher.
Yeah.
So when we all going to share deer camp?
Whenever you get the fuck out of the East Coast.
Oh, I don't got that for another few years, my friend. Child support.
We need to, man. No matter, even if it's a turkey camp or whatever, we got to figure something out.
Yeah, that'd be fun, man.
We should plan something in the near future. Yeah, like a turkey camp, even if it's at Prairie Storm. It'd be nice to catch up with them boys again too.
I think that I know Connecticut and the East Coast can have some good whitetails, but I figured you guys would probably want to do some Illinois hunting, just that Midwestern big buck type hunting, and there's some a little bit of public around, and some other opportunities, but we could all have camp somewhere.
Austin's got some pretty awesome public hunting real close to his place.
Yeah,
so.
I might even know an outfitter.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
You got to introduce me to him.
There you go.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. So, let's see. Oh, it's not going through. What's up with that? Your internet sucks here, Trev. There we go. So it's Ninja Tip of the Day, fellas. We finally made it here. It was a long haul to get to Ninja Tip of the Day. Thank you, Steve.
Explain to me what Ninja Tip is.
Come on now.
Ninja Tip of the Day is any good advice you for the outdoors.
Okay. Any season? Any animal?
Exactly. Yep. And I'm going to hit the head real quick. So just go around the room. Ninja Tip of the Day.
Okay. Bango. Dang, I feel like I've said most I want to say.
It comes out cliche.
I know there's a lot of ninja tips.
What's that?
There was a lot of ninja tips already.
I threw out what I had, but
greedy fuckers.
I'll take something stupid right off the bat. So one of my first things that I learned when I was a young bow hunter: don't try to reshoot broadheads. Throw something new on. Don't be a tight ass. Throw a new broadhead on. Don't try to shoot the same broadhead 3 times at 3 different animals.
I'd have to agree.
I'll back that up by saying don't be scared to buy another dozen arrows. Don't run the same arrow 74 times through the same animal. So
yeah,
just buy a new set, keep shooting Shoot long range.
Mine'll be choose your influencers wisely.
Influences.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Like kind of what I said earlier, if you read whoever's articles over and over again, you realize they've never killed a big buck in their life. Maybe you read somebody else's articles.
That's good.
Or podcast hosts or TV hosts, or that TV host is a little different because it's kind of hard. All I'm saying is if you know Mark Jury, when he talks about something, you know why he's talking about it.
He's got the backing.
Yep, exactly.
And, experience and the kills. And
totally.
I think there's a lot of guys out there putting out information that if you really look into it, maybe shouldn't be putting out information.
Should rethink about what they're actually doing.
That might be harsh, but I mean, it's just the truth.
That's the truth. That's the truth. If you don't have it behind you, then you shouldn't be giving out the information.
Mm-hmm. It'd be like a third grade teacher teaching kids how to read, but you don't know how to fucking read.
Well, that was a pretty good circle. I think we did good.
There we go. Well, that's enough for that. Everybody in the circle said their ninja tips. So we'll close her out. Next segment, please, D-Rock. What else you got?
All right, so we're winding down. This is a more specific question for Austin, for me to Austin. Why do I feel like my soul is leaving me every time I look into your eyes, man?
Man, I've got some deep eyes. I don't know.
You do, man.
Because deep eyes and a long dick.
That's probably just because I'm so shit hammered I can't look at you straight.
No, know what it is. I mean, it's something that personal to me that I always do every time I have a conversation with someone, unless it's over a microphone, is I, look at their eyes when I speak to them. And when I look into your eyes, man, you just know you have this different edge about you. And I think everyone in your room there can probably say the same. It's just different. So
I don't even know where to go.
I think I can elaborate. Let me jump in. Let me jump in.
Yeah, help me out, Kurt.
I was just going to say, you know what? I'd say Austin has everything that he says is really sincere. He's really good.
Steve, I'm going to fucking beat the fuck out of your leg.
He's just about to get ear hold here.
So, I'm not kidding. You're going to get sucked. I should do it on air right now. Just beat the shit out of your leg.
What I'm trying to say, with no interruptions, Steve, is Austin, when he starts talking or listens and has a conversation with you, he's just really sincere and gives you the best insight that he can and speaks from the heart every time. I mean, he's as real as it gets. So, it's tough. It's tough to find guys like that. I catch myself constantly, like not locking eyes like you're talking about, D-Rock. And I mean, seriously, it's tough to lock eyes with a guy and sit there and speak sincerely.
Now that you say that, I don't know how, like, D-Rock, because me and you have a lot of like close conversation. My brain is so all over, like wiry and all over. I don't know how often I lock eyes with people. I don't, because I feel like I'm just always like. Looking like my head's moving around. I'm like looking around. Even though I am listening and engaged, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, Steve. You keep looking at me like that, and I just feel like I'm wiry, man, a little bit sometimes. Right. But
it's easy to get that way when you got a lot on your mind.
But even though I am paying attention, I'm all over. And I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but what I think the way I would describe Austin is that like you ever talk to someone that's so intelligent that I'm not saying you're weird, but someone that's so intelligent they're weird. I feel like Austin's so high level into whitetails that when you talk to you, you're just wired a little different.
I'm just socially awkward.
Nah, I don't think so.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all, actually.
Go ahead, when you talk to Austin, it's like that serial killer. Like he has that just like that whole next level of just whitetail killing. You know what I'm saying? And like
he knows how to kill you where you sleep, man. He knows how to find your bed area.
Yeah,
exactly.
Actually, yeah.
So that thought is in the back of your mind, like, oh fuck. No.
Well, actually, that's what I was trying to bring out of the conversation is, and to touch on it a little bit, Kurt. Actually, you and I have the same thing, ADHD, and it's definitely like high strung. But I did notice that when you and I, we do have a lot of in-depth conversation, but when we're in front of each other, I do notice that you're not like that, and I don't know why exactly that is.
You think I'm not wiry?
Yeah, Yeah, it's
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I think it's maybe an acknowledgement of having the same type of I don't know, distractions. You know
Maybe
what
it's
I mean?
an internal thing then for me rather than a physical like appearance conversational like thing.
Maybe. But to get back on Austin is you definitely have that edge, man. It's you don't see that in too many people. I've seen it before too. But you're definitely one of those few that has that, for sure.
I appreciate that, man.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on the show for sure, and that's where it comes to. All this positivity, we got to touch on the realm of what rattles your antlers. Let's start. I'm assuming from left to right. From Kurt's point of view, it goes Kurt, Austin, Ross, and then Steve.
Wow!
Damn,
Am I right?
you nailed it.
Hell yeah! So
Wow.
let's go around the table, starting with Kurt.
Fuck, dude. How many times can I say what rattles my antlers on the show?
There's a lot, though. There's a lot, so we could. There's a whole list, I'm sure.
Fuck. Steve rattles my antlers. That right now, Steve is literally rattling my antlers.
That's real.
Tonight.
That's real.
And that might sound harsh, but god damn it. If you had to fucking deal with this guy like I do. Tonight you've been a handful, dude. You have been a 3-year-old child that's had too many pieces of cake.
Bro, I'm trying to train you for when you have your not even a year and a half year old child.
My daughter would kill a bigger buck than you, and she's got 13 years to catch up.
Oh man,
And those are just facts.
We'll see. Hey, if I don't kill a deer this year, I will get your daughter's name tattooed on my left arm.
No,
What's her name gonna be?
My daughter doesn't deserve that, and nice try.
No, the only
You
way you'll ever get his daughter's name on your body if it's branded. You get that heat
How about
stamp.
this? I'll make this bet right here on the East Coast. If you don't kill the Pope and Young that you shot after, you have to get Kurt Geyer is my bow hunting hero tattooed somewhere on your body.
Yes, in Latin.
You got to get it. Yeah, you got to get my name in Old English, and then you get is my bow hunting hero in cursive.
Oh, I like that bet. Take it, Steve. It'll be better tattoo than your Parliament
I
tattoo.
can't not take it. He brought it up. I have to.
There's a handshake.
Yes.
All right.
That happened on East Coast Bow Hunting
You better kill
Podcast.
Pope and Young this year.
That's for real.
Shit.
What happens if I kill a Pope and Young? What tattoo are you getting?
That wasn't the deal. You already shook my hand. Fuck
Yeah.
up.
Fuck, I'm fucked.
You get Kurt's respect, and he'll measure it for you. How about that?
Yeah. I'll pay for the entry.
There you go.
Dude, you need to
That's
measure my
fair.
tattoo.
Hey, I'll pay for the entry, and then you can kiss my feet.
Yeah, you want him to kiss your feet, though?
I might get 2 tattoos this
socks on.
deer
Oh,
season.
okay. With socks on. No skin to skin. Austin, what rattles your antlers, man?
Oh man, if we're gonna be honest right now, it's not really even related to hunting, but I'm just so antsy to start farming and get my shit done this spring. I just want Mother Nature to cooperate, so that's really rattling my antlers right now. I just want Mother Nature to warm up and quit raining so I can start my work and get my shit done so I can pick my corn before October 30th and get in the fucking tree stand so I can hunt some shit.
That's the most innocent answer ever.
I love it though.
It is. That's real. I like that shit. That's what I
That
mean.
is awesome.
That edge. That's all he's thinking about. Ross, what you got, man? What rattles your antlers?
Boy, what rattles my antlers? I just need a good, solid year of work, and hopefully everything gets done so that, like Austin said, we can get in the tree and kill some stuff. But
What's rattling your antlers, though?
what's rattling my antlers? You know what's rattling my antlers is there's too many damn
Squirrels?
too many damn squirrels out there.
Steve's?
So many goddamn squirrels.
Oh man.
I'm mad.
No, I guess nothing against you guys at all, but there's a lot of outfitting going on, and they're just crunching down on the home property, and it's just.
Damn, man, you're gonna step on my toes like that. Right?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Hey, I'm stepping on you and these East Coast.
Hey,
boys.
call him out, homie. You call him out.
Like everybody, all the PA guys are all over,
Ugh.
just hovering, and it's hurting. So,
Are they Amish?
Huh?
Never mind.
Instead of the Amish.
Are they Amish? No.
Jebediah don't listen to podcasts, so we don't know that you're
Jebediah.
No.
I think my cousin's name is Jebediah.
It's really not that big a deal, but I will say, talking about 2012 earlier, there was no outfitting PA hunters coming in, hunting, knocking on my door. It's been a struggle ever since. I had target bucks. They ended up getting shot 300 yards away from me, right across the line. It's been a struggle. So that's the thing. If I shoot a big buck, I shot a couple big bucks that I would love to brag about, but I try to keep them as quiet as possible because every time I talk about one, I get another 16 deer hunters sitting right across the fence. So I try to keep it on the DL and try to do my thing and enjoy my hunting. And so I'm all about you boys coming back and hunting with us and having a good time. For me, I get pretty selfish about my little area. So
nowadays a little bit.
Yeah.
Nobody talk about where we're from. God
Exactly.
damn it. Even though we've already mentioned it.
Son of a bitch.
Hopefully you forgot.
Springfield, Illinois.
That would.
Pike County.
Yep. Buffalo County, Wisconsin.
So, Kurt, this will be at your discretion. So, Steve, listen up. He's going to unmute you, and you say specifically what rattles your antlers, and that's it, nothing else. Don't elaborate, just 10 seconds, go.
Well, it was good talking to you guys. I'm going to head out for the night.
All right, what rattles your antlers, Steve?
What rattles my antlers is when you make eye contact references and nobody brings up what's that Paul Newman movie? All right, get back to me next week. I'll bring it up.
All right, good enough. That works for me.
What the fuck?
That's a deep joke. Please look it up.
The Color of Money is the only Paul Newman movie that makes sense.
Oh, my God. You guys are killing me. You guys don't... Take it off here, boss.
Oh,
Take
man.
them off here. You guys don't know that. Oh, God damn.
All right, mute him. So this has actually been a ton of information. My notes are insane. I did a little snapshot and sent it to Kurt on one specific part of the show on the notes. It's been real, man. It's been real. This is something. I apologize, Ross and Austin. We didn't get you on sooner. And having Steve, I did not plan for that. So, but I'll take part blame because I allowed it to happen.
This is part of his notes, and it's a segmented out part. Steve fucked it up.
You wrote it in blue ink. You know it means.
Hey, imagine me, D-Rock. I have to deal with him on every show.
God bless you, Kurt.
I think the dog's getting a little far away from the fucking rope, if you know what I'm saying, bro. He remember the last time you got fired, bro?
Switch to the choke
I'm
chain.
Fire you on somebody else's podcast.
How many times are you going to fire me?
I only fired you once for real, but you're fucking making me rethink my decision to bring you back.
What about that second time? I thought what was the second time, a bluff?
I didn't fire you a second time.
Choke chain.
Dude, I've been fired fucking twice from this podcast.
No, you have not.
Are you sure?
I mean, you're fucking fired now. Mute. Done, son.
Fired.
You're done.
You're fired.
Your application's in the mail, Steve.
Choke collar. Yeah, choke collar.
Dog just got hit by a car.
But on that note, man, it's been really good episode, man, and I really appreciate you guys' time.
Yeah, thank you.
Long overdue. And again, on a serious note, I apologize we didn't get around to doing this in Iowa. I really wanted you guys in person, but we could remedy that by setting up a deer camp, hopefully this year, if not in the very near future, and we'll do this in person, hopefully with some blood on the ground. So,
hell yeah, man.
Quick.
Thanks for having us on, D-Rock. I've been looking forward to it for a long time, so I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. And let's just end on something positive. Just one word, positivity. Anyone go?
Turkeys.
Inspire.
Nice.
Bumble.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ross.
I said, geez. Preparation.
Word. What you got, Trev?
Friends.
Nice. I got decaps.
I like that segment.
Sweet, man. And on that note, stay stepping.
And stay slaying.
rocking. I try to let a few doors walk, but if that freezer runs low, I gotta stock it. These scrub bucks got no mask, darn sure no drop times, but this chili has deer burger in it tonight.
Dude, where did this podcast go? Straight to hell. Yeah, speaking of hell, check out East Coast Bowhunting Podcast.
We keep it real on East Coast. First of all, I'm addicted to the show.
I like that. That's cool. Okay.
Whole boar hunt, you live it, you breathe it. It's a whole different world.
Just East Coast has a little bit more of an edge and a grind.
It's a fantastic thing.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Well, number one is you guys like beer. I want to feel like I'm hanging with the boys.
You're the guys that showed up.
But I actually saw Jesus.
The point where it is now where it's insane.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Just want to get the realest people possible in the industry. You know, if you're not pissing people off, you're not doing it right.
Nothing forced, all fucking natural.